All right.
Testicles.
Test. Testicles.
Let's make sure everybody's paying attention.
Hello, testicles, Tomadachis. Okay. 3, 2, 1. I hit the button. Hello.
There we go.
Welcome. I did it. Welcome to Dualcast. Dualcast with Drac and Larry.
Are you? Now I'm the one messing it up. Join us for a spell as we talk about life and gaming. And today we're going over patch 5.1 and everything that was in there. If you guys are worried about spoilers, don't worry, because we're going to do that at the end, and then we'll give you guys some notice as to when we're going into the MSQ stuff, if you guys haven't done that yet. So you can enjoy the rest of the podcast. Don't worry about it. And then at the end, we'll let you know when we start going into MSQ, and you can tune out. So
we're very considerate.
Yeah, we're trying. We're trying to be very considerate. So I would say that I've taken on most of the content right now. I think Larry's got most of the stuff for like job changes.
I did it all.
Yeah.
Of like content that came out in 5.1?
The 5.1 stuff, and then like your knowledge of the job changes, because you're
I'm a little nerdy when it comes to job changes. That's like one of my favorite things to talk about. Yeah. But like content wise, I've done everything except for the Beast Tribe, because I kind of don't do Beast Tribes very often. Do you? Did you?
I actually got through recently the Realm Reborn ones. I'd finished that. I'd finished Heaven's Word on content. I went back and I finished Stormblood. I think I was just like a little bit behind in the Ananta. And then so I thought I would do more with the Pixies up front, but then I got sidetracked with like getting the E3 video out and streaming and getting other stuff done and prepping, so I didn't do quite as much. And I got my crafters up. I went from like my armor was the last one that I needed to get ready for Ishgard. I went from 72 to 80 in like 3 hours.
Oh, so you have all of them to 80 now, or
gathers, crafters, 80, and I'm working on the new rotation. So I did that a little bit before we went into our reclears yesterday, just trying to figure out like all the adjustments and stuff that they did and the cleanup with the abilities and what they all do now.
That looks overwhelming
and stuff. It's actually a lot more like straightforward. Like you don't have to worry about abilities that were more RNG based, like Hasty Touch, are still just RNG. Rapid Synth is still RNG. Everything else that needed Steady Hand to have 100% success rate just has 100% success rate. Steady Hand's gone.
Because Steady Hand is just gone.
Just gone.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
But I know the icons because there's memes of it. So that's how I know.
Yeah. So and I'm still getting used to like I gotta do more research on how the Vireguts limitations are, because they capped that. That was at the beginning of Shadowbringers. That's not a new thing, but now it's a lot. I used to have, you could just kind of like do your macros, and I'm not sure if that's really the case anymore. You probably still can, but there's also a lot of, since there's no CP regeneration, it's a lot more beneficial to go in and like use the good and the excellent procs to get the tricks of the trade to get your CP back. So I don't know. I needed to look it up. I haven't yet. I'm sorry, but I did at least try them out, and I like the changes so far. I'm really happy with them.
Well, that's good, because honestly, that's really all I can't comment much on the crafting changes. I'm sorry, I don't do it. So unfortunately, I can't really talk much about it. The only thing I can say is the one thing that I have seen is that it's very quick to level them now, from what I've heard. I don't know if I'll do it. I probably won't.
Well, it's a lot more simple now. So I was alongside people who were like, I'm really worried that they're dumbing it down, because Final Fantasy has had a tendency to do that.
It does that.
We were talking about that last week, or 2 weeks ago rather.
Yep.
Where we're increasing playability or something like that, and that wording is always like,
it's scary.
What are you gonna do? How are you gonna ruin this?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Is it gonna be not interesting anymore? But what they did was basically, so how I described it to people is that over the past 3 expansions, we've had all the battle classes and their actions and all that stuff very refined, a lot of bloat cut, but crafters have only had stuff added to them. his entire time.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's all just
Over 6 years.
Yeah,
6 years of adding.
It's a lot more concise now, and everything has a very specific purpose. And like the things that used to be 1 and 2 are now just one ability.
Right.
They all just condensed it.
Kind of like PvE changes, like taking PvE abilities and putting them into a PvP. Because PvP is really condensed.
That is very, yeah. That's
is it like that?
That's very like that's a lot more. What they did more so was like things that were replaced just got put into one ability, or things like Steady Hand. They had 1 and 2. Now it's just gone. You just
kind of like PvP does that.
It's not quite as simple as PvP, but close. I suppose.
I'm gonna go with that analogy to my head so I understand. I'm gonna say that they made the new crafter changes are like what they did to PvP, and that'll be my headcanon. Thank you.
Well, you can. I think it would be more accurate to say that's kind of what they did with tanks, where they reduced the rotations. Like you only have like one path or maybe one branch for the
right.
But now it's not. It's more just streamlined.
So crafters get aggro auto as well.
Yeah. Pretty much.
All right, cool.
Because they have the most money automatically. That means that they're hated among the community, right?
Yeah, freaking crafters. I hate those people. Just ruining our markets, making everything so expensive. With that coat, that new coat with all the belts on it.
Yeah.
It's like $25 million. Yeah, real human dollars.
I need to do my, maps. I need to do maps now and get like that going on a weekly basis. Coat? Yeah, because to get the mats for it, I'm pretty sure that's where it's from. So I think so. I want to do that because I can craft it for sure. No problem.
I need that. Wait, you can make it?
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to transfer to your server 10 real human dollars.
Yeah, $20 just to get
$20 to get that coat from Drac.
Just so it's not 25 mil.
Yeah,
no problem. I'll do it for you.
Yomu always talks about being able to craft stuff. I'm not sure that he can, but I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, that's
he's okay at combos.
Yeah. That's really the only thing that whenever they do crafting changes, I always just look at the new crafted items, because that's usually where they list them. Is in there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I've caught up on my master recipes. I just need the new gear, and that's going to be a chore because I haven't figured out how to 100% from normal quality, even though I've like almost maxed my materia out on the current gear. So that's tough. I might need to take a little bit more of a safe approach, or at least get be able to high quality the mats for it and then go into it. So
yeah,
that's going to be my current struggle going into 5.1, which is also going to be or 5.11, sorry, which is going to be ultimate T.
Right, and also. Is that no? Okay, Blue Mage is not 0.11. Blue Mage is 0.15, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
0.11 is also Ishgard restoration. Then,
yes, that's what I'm bringing up.
This patch is loaded.
I know, right?
That's crazy. Yeah. Okay.
We're actually going to be taking on Ultimate this time around, so I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, that's exciting. I'm so excited because now it's It's a week away now.
Yeah, next
week.
Next week.
On Tuesday.
Oh,
everybody's gonna be waking up nice and early. Well, you guys aren't. You're not gonna be.
We're not gonna go. We're not gonna go hardcore at it.
Yeah,
but
just doing it.
Tate is going to be taking a break. Right now, he's like, I can't raid with you guys right now because I'm waking up at 2 a.m. or like 3 a.m, so that he can be ready to go.
Yeah, he's probably going. He's probably scheduling out like 2 weeks.
So he's just like, can you replace me for this week? And then we'll be replacing him for the next 2 weeks. So if we do a video for T, then you'll know where Tate is. At least those of you watching or listening now, he's going to be in World Prog. Yeah. But we've got some capable people to pull from. So I think we're going to have a good time.
How many hours, if you do it in 2 weeks, and let's say it takes like 100 hours to prog it, right? I almost did 1,000. That's if you do that in 2 weeks, so that's 14 days. That's 7 hours a day. On average, but people are going to be doing more than 12. That. Yeah, they're going to be going like 12
to 16 minimum.
Maybe they could clear it in a week and a half. Wait, how long did it take to clear Ukop? I actually probably should have looked this up beforehand, but
yeah, I'm not sure because I just knew it was a lot. I heard anywhere from 100 to 300 hours.
Oh, for like different like averages of groups. Yeah. Like I would say an average of like a good group would be like about 100-ish hours to prog, but that's already knowing the strats. So it's different when it's fresh prog, like world race people.
Yeah, that's going to be more if you want to do it fresh.
More or just efficient. But yeah. I don't know, maybe like 2 weeks, I would say. I would expect it to be done within 2 weeks.
We'll see. They said it's going to be hard, but we don't know. It really depends on if they've gotten a better grasp of the community and like what they're really capable of.
They said it would be like UCAB difficulty-ish. And I think they said they did confirm longer than Uwu.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they said it would be longer, harder.
Like 15 minutes maybe. Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. Just 15 minutes of hell. Yeah.
Just dude, it's hard enough going into E4, getting to last phase and wiping, and then having to do 3 phases again. It sucks so much. It's better than door boss. It is by far better than door boss fights, but oh man, I don't look forward to wiping halfway through that.
Oh no. I remember when you get to last phases of like ultimate. Like I've only ever done UCAB obviously, but I didn't do much of Uwu. I only got up to like I only did the first 3 primals of Uwu, and then I just like stopped doing it. But for UCAB, like if you're like once you get to Bahamut Prime Golden phase, it's like the mechanics themselves, like they're not really that bad. It's just you're so on edge and so your nerves are completely wrecked because you're like, I don't want to mess up, because one little bitty mess up, you wipe.
Yeah, one person dies, you're done.
Yeah, well, not so much anymore, but at the time, you wipe. Like now, like you could probably have like a death or 2 in Golden and be fine, but when the new ultimate comes out, you rest assured in the final phase, if you die, you just die. So.
Yeah, probably. Who knows how much they're gonna throw?
Everything.
I cannot wait. I really want Alexander to fuse with Brute Justice and become basically a much larger mecha of what the PvP gear is for tanks. Like that look is what I was hoping for.
Yeah. So we were talking about that last time. So you have a good outline of what you wanted to look like.
That's what I want to see. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of form factor is cool.
You know what would be cool if they at least make a mount or something like that, where you get in the mecha suit and then you fly around with it. I've been wanting to just fly for a long time. People are like, no, you can't have wings or.
Dude, that would be the freaking near mount. Could be one of the near mounts. I would want the pod, but the other near mount I would want the suit, the flying suit, which I can't remember the name of. I'm a terrible near fan. Yeah. It's just the flying suit.
Which I
flight unit.
I downloaded Automata, by the way, so it's on my computer. I just need to get around to playing it.
Oh, the PC version? No. Oh, you have a good computer. It'll run fine.
Yeah.
Because that version is kind of known for like being bad, very badly optimized, the PC version of Automata. But you have a good computer, so it'll be fine.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
So on that note, let's talk about the Nier raid.
Sure.
So how about I'll leave you the floor for a bit, and then I'll put in my 2 cents as a newbie.
Well, I talked about it quite at length on Frosty's stream, because I was able to go on Mog Talk last weekend and talk with him and Klemps, who is like a really big Nier fan, and he makes a whole bunch of videos on Nier lores. He's kind of like Ethis for 14 lore. He's for Nier lore. So he's got a lot of Nier lore. And so we were able to talk about it. And overall, I'm really happy with the Nier raid as a Nier fan. It's just, as a Nier fan, I was kind of hoping for more weird stuff. But I could also understand that it was light on story, because I'm thinking that their plan is be a little light on story, just introduce the characters, and so people who play it for the first time and haven't played Automata aren't necessarily spoiled on anything
or get overloaded.
Yeah, or get overloaded, and then they're interested, and then they could go play Automata then.
Yeah, it
gives them the chance before the second part comes out. So they're just little tidbits and hints are in there. I also really liked the single player instance part.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up.
Yeah, that is so cool, and I kind of want that for everything else in the game now. But
yeah, it's super neat because people are like, I'm just gonna go back and take some screenshots. Excuse me, just going through the whole thing without having to worry about it. That one room was interesting, which I was a little interested in, where you walk in and it's just 2Bs scattered across the floor and on boxes and just just sitting there. I'm like, this is a little creepy.
A whole bunch of dead 2B units.
Yeah.
I could only imagine if you've never played the game, you'd look at that and be like, "What the?
It was something."
So, without spoiling, because this isn't a spoiler, like you would know this just from watching trailers of Automata. They're androids, so they can be rebuilt, and their memories can be put into the new bodies.
Right. I think there was a meme where not necessarily a meme, but like a little feature in the Automata where you can remove a memory unit or something from your build and just shut the game off.
Yeah, you would remove your OS chip. So like the way the game works, like it has like all these computer chips that you could install. Yeah. And they're all upgrades. So like that's how you get new combos and new abilities and stuff.
That's a really cool thing.
Yeah, it's cool. But one of those upgrades abilities is your OS. And so you could just pluck that out and you die. So
I love that.
Yeah. That's one of the many joke endings. But
it's a joke ending.
It gives you an ending. The game ends. The credits roll. Yeah,
that's fantastic.
You would like it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's many different ways to do that.
just credits roll, rocks fall, everyone dies. Roll credits, you're done.
Yeah.
Oh holy shit!
And the credits go really fast too. So. All
right, I gotta play it now.
Yeah. I'm telling you, you'll like it. The only people that could play Nier and don't like it is if you don't like things.
If I don't like things, yeah, okay.
If you don't like story in your video games, then you won't like Nier.
No,
that's really it.
That's a big thing for me. That's why I like Final Fantasy so much, and games like Horizon Zero Dawn are really high up on my list.
Yeah.
People talk smack about Dragon Dogma's story. I kind of liked it.
I never played it.
I think it's good. It's fun. It ages pretty well. It put Corey to sleep because of the menus and stuff up front. Because he just got we picked him up and I was like, all right, let's play. It was getting into the evening. It's like 8-9 o'clock, and but we were up at like 4 a.m. to get ready for his flight and then to be able to pick him up.
Right.
And so we're sitting there and he gets out of the village and he's just. I'm starting to doze off too, and then I look over and he's slowly going back while his character is sitting there. But anyway, it's generic, but it's fun. Anyway, but yeah, I like story. Long story short.
Yeah, long story short. Story's good. Yeah. So I definitely understand why they would have light story in this, but. Because they added that single player thing, it added all these little tidbits that you could pick up, and literally pick up little tidbits as well. Right. So with that new UI that they added, which was so cool, it's like Nier's one of my favorite games. So playing 14, which is also one of my favorite games, obviously, and then having my other one of my favorite games in there, and then you click a button and the UI pops up. It's just like. What good timeline am I in right now that this exists?
I don't think I used that UI thing.
You never opened it up yet?
I was falling on my face, so I don't think it's the picture thing, right? Or the log.
The log.
Okay, yeah, I didn't.
Yeah,
I don't think I.
So I guess it wouldn't really matter too much to you if you haven't played Nier, because the items that you pick up, they're all logs and little itty bits of story that if you played Nier, you would be like, oh, that's this. Oh, that's this character, right. Blah, blah, blah. So it's just introducing all these things and hints at what this could mean. So the big question right now is just what is the copied factory? What is it from? And no spoilers of Nier. It's just hypothetically, the theory right now is it's a canon continuation of one of the endings.
Oh, okay.
So there's a theory going on with that. So... And hopefully, by the next part, we'll probably know that. So, but yeah.
I'm just really glad to have some Soul Calibur in our Final Fantasy game.
Come on. Yeah, Soul Calibur is now canon lore to Final Fantasy 14. Okay, cool.
Dude, in the next raid, Nightmare's just gonna pop out and just cut everybody down. It's gonna be great.
Oh, he's already a Dark Knight.
That's true.
So-
Yeah. He's gonna fit in perfectly.
Yeah. So as a you haven't played Nier, what did you think of the story?
I like to imagine that you just stopped yourself from calling me a normie. For not
No,
having
you're-
Nier.
Oh, come on.
You're
You're not a
little.
normie. I was trying to think of what the word is of like. I guess not Nier fan also could have just been normie.
Yeah.
Whatever. All right, as a normie,
Shaming me.
what did you
How
think?
dare you? It was neat. It was interesting because like some of the graphics seemed a bit reminiscent of like older
Yeah.
graphic. Like it didn't look quite as like
Hold
polished. So
I have to interrupt you there. I'm sorry. What's funny about that is, do you mean like the orbs, like the bullet hell orbs? In particular?
not necessarily the orbs, but like in the distance when you're like getting to the tower, it looked a lot. It looked like a kind of a low res texture.
Okay. Oh, wait,
So-
maybe not so much that, but the orbs.
Okay.
The reason why I thought maybe that you meant the orbs is because the orbs are very similar to what they look like in the first Nier game
The first Nier.
on PS3. I almost said PS2 because it basically looks like a PS2 game.
It did.
But,
I
yeah.
thought it was PS2 because when I watched you play it,
It's
it looked
PS3.
like PS2.
Yeah, it's PlayStation 3.
Okay.
Very high definition game.
Very, very good.
Yes, very high budget game by an small indie developer.
Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Nier.
Yes. So-
perfect.
And those bullets are kind of in Automata too, so if they grabbed it from there, it's like, okay, yeah, that kind of looks old. But that's interesting. All
Yeah,
right.
it was tough to really grasp everything because I was half asleep when it came out, but I still went right into it, and
Mhm.
I like the I don't know. It's just I'm interested. I'm certainly
Mhm.
interested to play it because all this the way that 2P right 2P
2P.
talks.
Yeah. Two penis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That's the name.
just Garuda now.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I'll get into it.
Yep.
Tate's just neat. Like, Drac, what the hell are you doing right now?
Move on. Yep.
Yeah.
Come on, continue.
Talking like about the machine life forms and stuff like that. Just the way that she's
Mhm.
referring to the things in the universe and like the interaction that they're having and then the conflict and kind of having a certain, like, you always see 2B and 9S together. So I'm like, oh, I thought he was a good guy, and then he's like fighting 2P, and it's like, is he corrupted or is she the bad guy? What's going on? So now I'm like really interested to see like the little tidbits that I know from like playthroughs or whatever that I've seen. Very, very small snippets.
That's so cool to hear. That's so interesting.
You
No-
see his smile just like
Yeah.
slowly.
As soon as he
creep
said
up.
9S and they're buddies, I'm just like. Well, so I guess let me ask you then, because this was a concern. Did it feel out of place in our world?
Oh, that's hard to say. It's hard
Like
to
just
say.
aesthetically.
Aesthetically, I suppose a little bit, simply because everything's had such a consistent design for the most part. If you have like Alligans and whatnot,
Yeah.
but considering everything that we've had with Alligans and that high technology being a part of the world in general,
Yeah.
it didn't feel like it wasn't jarring.
You couldn't believe that it wasn't there. Like you could. I mean,
Yeah, I could
you
believe that
could.
it made sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't take me out of it. I still like some of it looked very PS3 graphics or PS2 graphics at some points.
Yeah.
But I'll say that I'm glad that they're in the game, especially the third boss, the giant boss.
oh yeah.
That one was sick as hell. That
Yeah.
was really freaking cool, and I really hope they do stuff like that. I hope that stuff is in Alexander Ultimate.
Mechanic wise, you
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah, just like
Yeah.
being, because that was a very interesting way to have a giant boss,
Right.
like, and still be active and engaging and stuff, and not just be a tank and spank. Like you just had to, everybody had to pay attention, everybody had to do something, and
Yeah.
it had a lot of responsibility on the party. And I
Right.
really liked that. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah. I think I guess we could talk about the difficulty too. Like, I think the difficulty is comparable to the Rabinaster first one. What was the first one of Rabinaster? Orbone?
Orbone was the last one.
What was the first one?
First one was
Rabinaster?
I think Rabinaster, yeah.
Yeah, whatever the first one was called.
Sure.
I feel like Rabinaster is the first one. Thank you, chat. I feel like it was similar in difficulty to that. And I think it was good that it was a little easier on the easier side, because I think it was like we didn't wipe really. I think we wiped one time. The one time that we wiped was on the third boss, when he does the slam, and to survive it you have to go all the way south. Because he flips the platform you're on,
right,
or whatever. Yeah, the first time everybody was stacked in the middle, because that's what you do. If you don't know what's happening, you stack in the middle.
Yeah, no.
So everybody stacked there, and he flipped the table, and everybody died. The entire alliance.
No, the people in our instance played Shinryu, so we knew what was coming.
You know what?
So I think there were a few people that flew off the sides or whatever, but we were like, hang on a second, because Rai was sitting there and he's just like, there's a platform back there. And I was like, oh no, you're right. We all book it to the edge.
Well, I didn't look behind me. Why would I look behind me? I'm looking at the giant robot.
You're such a casual.
You're right. You're right.
Who knows more about the logs than I do?
I'm a casual. But yeah, so we all died. But then the second time we're like, all right, Yoko Taro.
Yeah, we got this.
Yeah, fuck you, Yoko Taro.
No, it's the last boss on the tanks got my group a couple times, I think. Because trying to figure out like how that worked. It didn't take too long, but people died.
To hide behind them?
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, on the last boss, I like couldn't figure out how to dodge his freaking aerial assault lines.
Oh, that one was that's tough.
I kept getting hit by them, and I just kept running around in circles. Like, I just kept running around them thinking that like it was always random, but it's not random. He just goes in a line and he won't touch that line again after he does it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that
he just goes 1, 2, 3 at random. So you just go into the one that he went in. And then he does another set, 1, 2, 3, and you just go into the one that he went in.
Well, now I know.
That's all you got to do. I kept running the fuck around, getting hit by all of them. So I just died every time. I freaking pulled out Titan to use his shield, to use my personal 30% shield to live, because I kept getting hit.
Oh, man.
I'm so bad.
I was still kind of like running around like, all right, where's he going to go? And I just try and react. And it's hard to react to it because he comes out real quick.
Yeah, it's so quick.
It's very quick. So, but I should have used more of my expertise from Titan and standing on the corners. If you can see the spot where they like intersect, I stand right on that corner and then just move, because that's where I put my ley lines, and then I just quadrant.
Freaking black mages.
You gotta have those strats, especially for freaking Titan. E4 Savage is such a pain in the butt, but it just made me a better black mage.
Well, that's good. Yeah, so. Trial by fire, dude.
Yeah.
Literally, not literally fire. He's earth. Yeah. But when we get to Ifrit. I just remember. Okay. I just got really excited. I'm like, we're going to have an Ifrit to fight in Savage.
I can't wait for young, hot Ramu.
Young, hot Ramu.
We're going to have a young, hot Ramu version. Well, I mean, he's got to compensate for the beard loss.
Maybe he'll just be a beard, because that's all I remember about him, honestly.
just to be a floating beard.
It'll just be a big beard.
Yeah, totally.
Anyways.
No, but Shadowbringers is, oh no, I'm hot, the expansion. So I'm just waiting for that to happen.
Yeah, the other thing that me and my friends joke about when we're raiding is the general mechanic, like the way that they mix up the mechanics this expansion is they come back. As in the AoEs, every AoE that happens or mechanic that happens, it comes back the other way.
Oh,
so like Leviathan, he comes back the other way. Hades, the exaflares at the end, they come back the other way.
Yeah.
In the first phase with the laser beams that do this, you know what I mean? They come back the other way.
Totally.
So everything comes back this expansion.
Yeah. The doubles. Speaking of, so I think that goes over most of what we were doing with the
Oh
24
wait, before I don't want to end on Nier yet, my friend.
Okay. You talked about Hades, and now I'm excited.
Yeah, I know.
about Hades.
I'm sorry. With Nier though, so I obviously got super emotional on when we fought 9S with the music playing.
Oh yeah, I
so
didn't have the music playing.
You still haven't heard the song? It's reset. You could go back.
I haven't yet.
I was gonna ask you. I was gonna be like, well, what'd you think of the song? Even if you haven't played Nier and you don't have the emotional attachment to the song, what'd you think of the song?
I don't play with music on so that I don't have to edit it out, and it's easier for me. So I have to listen to it when I go back in. I'm sorry.
That's very unfortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand, but that's very unfortunate because I've done that. Whenever I'm recording for like a Basically video or something, I have to play with no music on, and it's very jarring and strange. Yeah. It's very weird playing with no sound. I just have the game sounds. It's very weird.
It's painful, but it's worth it for the end because I hate cutting music out.
Yeah, you can't. No, it's too much work.
very unfortunate. I did it for the Reclear video because I didn't really intend to record it, and then I was like, whatever. And so I just tried to like cut it on the beats so that it didn't sound so janky. Because I hate doing that,
dude. You got to do it because Nier is the music. Like
the story and the music.
The music is the other big part. So go do that. Yes. Okay. Do it right after when you go home tonight.
Right. I don't think my kids will let me, but
do it anyway.
Have them yell at me while I'm trying to look. Uncle Larry told me to go and listen to music. What music? What are you talking about, Daddy? Why is that little boy attacking you?
9S is not a little boy. The triple trad card says child on it because I got the triple trad card. It says child. He's not a child.
He's pretty child. Like
it's anime.
Yeah, it's called Shota.
He's not a Shota.
He's totally a Shota.
He's not. I don't think he's a child.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. You're the one that has to talk to the police at the end. I don't.
I'm not a child.
I've
he's
accepted
an
reality.
android.
I've accepted. Look, officer, she's an android. It doesn't matter. Essentially a sex doll. It's fine.
Okay,
it doesn't have emotions. You can't. It's not a.
That's not what they're for.
Just a thing.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, the Earth created androids for. Never mind. All right. Okay, we can move on from the Nier right now. What's next?
My plan has succeeded.
You ruined it.
I love it.
Well, you know what the funny thing is? Like my favorite thing about Yoko Taro is whenever like a game developer adds like a sexy girl character who's like scantily clad, they're always like, well, we got to have some kind of lore reason why she's dressed like this.
Okay.
So like for instance, Metal Gear Solid with Quiet, she Metal Gear Solid 5, it's because she breathes through her skin. So she has to show so much skin. Kojima's a genius, I suppose. But then Yoko Taro, when asked about why he always has scantily clad women in his games, he's just like, I like girls. He doesn't care.
That reminds me of that ProZD. He did that skit where it's like the hardcore anime, like the weeb, being like, no, it's really actually the reason that she's so scantily dressed is that it's a statement about her sexuality, and the author is making a satire about it,
right?
And all it's like going off and on, like trying to justify it, and then it just cuts the creators. I just wanted to see some titties. Yeah.
Yep, that's Yoko Taro. Perfect.
And you know what? That's okay.
That's okay.
That's fine. It doesn't matter. I like girls too, and you know what? I don't get offended when chicks are like, I wanted to see this character without his shirt on. I'm like, good for you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Totally fine.
Absolutely,
you know what?
fine.
He's actually pretty. So yeah,
that guy's
I totally
hot.
understand it.
Yeah, they had sexy remove.
Kill
I'm excited.
Went straight for it.
Well, I respect Yoko Taro.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. So overall, good 24 man. I'm excited. I'm excited. It's in the game.
I'll play Automata by the next time. After I'm done raising my chows in my chow garden, because I downloaded Sonic Adventure 2 Battle again.
What? I gotta race you.
Okay.
My childhood is Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
Dude, it was on sale, so like the whole thing and the DLC for Battle was like $5.
Dude,
Put
we're
it on,
gonna
throw it on-
we're gonna do City Escape.
City Escape,
Yeah.
and we're gonna battle our children together, right?
Uh-huh.
Our child children.
Yeah. I call Shadow, by the way.
Oh, okay, fine.
Who did you always play?
I don't even remember really. I
always
always
call Shadow.
I always went between Sonic and Shadow because everybody else was really
Chaos Control.
Yeah.
That was always so annoying. Like if somebody else was playing Shadow, I'd be going through the stage and my friend would just be like,
Chaos Control.
Chaos Control.
All right. Well, this is the beginning of a grudge match. We're gonna
we'll play that.
Oh, dude, I obsessed over getting Chaos Chows back in the day. Like
I don't even want to talk about it because
we're gonna do
somebody told me that if you got all 180 emblems in Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, that you would unlock Super Sonic and Hyper Shadow in the multiplayer mode. And so I devoted the next year of my childhood to getting all 180 emblems in Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. And you know what I got at the end? A red costume and Green Hill Zone. I didn't get Super Sonic and Hyper Shadow.
But their dad worked at Sega, right? That's how they got the information.
Yes, my friend lied to me.
Dude, I had that so many times.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Okay. So Hades. That's a very good fight. It was a very good fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's funny though is that people watched us after we'd figured out how to farm.
Yeah.
And they're like, "This fight looks easy." I was like,
"Okay,
it's because we learned the dance and we're doing it right." That's doesn't make it easy because people can mess that up so easily.
If you watch somebody farm a fight, it looks super easy because you're just going and it's like, oh, that's easy. I can do that.
Yeah, that's why we do things blind, or like why I try to do things blind and figure it out on our own, because that's I don't know if you guys can hear the train back there, but we're trying to open up the window for a little bit just so that we can get some fresh air because it gets real stuffy in here. Anyway, learning that fight was super interesting. Like the people who really tried on content, like Raya's group did 5 hours. 5 hours and we had about the same amount, 4.5, 5 hours before we like figured out what everything did. Yeah. And I never know how to prove that I figured it out on my own. I'm always nervous people are gonna be like, no, you didn't. You looked up a guide and then pretended like. But it was the big circles when you gotta get knocked back. Almagus, basically, or
wait, which phase?
I think Grand Cross Omega Delta.
No. Which phase of Hades?
Giant Ascian Prime.
Ascian Prime. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And so we were like doing it for like, all right, maybe the rings have to spread out. Okay, maybe just like going for. And I was like, wait a second. And I opened up. This is where it was really handy to have Photoshop.
Oh my god!
I made the circles and then where the people were standing, and then I just like lowered the transparency on the rings. And then I was like, all right, where's only one? How do I orient this? And I was like, oh, you just put them in a square.
Whoa, bro! You went like football Madden style. Wow. See, when we were first going through that, we were like, what if we put all the tanks healers all the way south? So that they're in Egypt, right? We don't care about them. And then we have one of the healers go north. And so we get hit by just that healer's donut and get pushed. So that's what we did. And it worked.
Yeah, that could work.
But it wasn't very clean.
Yeah.
Because we had to make sure we only looked like healers and tanks were north and south, right? So we had to make sure that we were looking this way.
Yeah.
In particular.
Yeah.
So... yeah, but then somebody sent us the Lotus strat, which is what you're saying is where like you have the square of people, and then they overlap in such a way where you can only get hit by one. Yeah,
all you have to do is stand behind the tank or healer that you're assigned to. Yeah, and you're fine as a DPS.
And then the tank or healer across from you is their donut is the one that you're gonna get hit by.
Yep,
it's very cool.
It worked
very
out
clever.
Very, very well. Worked out very well. So people calling it Black Rose. That's cute. I like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Black Rose, Black Lotus. I like Black Rose because it's story implications.
Yeah.
But overall difficulty wise, it took us like I think 4 or 5 lockouts because we did 2 lockouts. Or no, we did 1 lockout the first day. We went again another day with a lockout, and then yesterday we did another 2 lockouts and we cleared it. So I would say difficulty wise, like comparing it to Thornton and Shinryu.
Yeah.
Definitely easier than Thornton.
You think so?
Yeah, Thornton was hard.
Yeah.
Thornton was hard.
I would say the eyes and the spear at the end of Thornton are the hardest part of Thornton. That's what always hung us up. It wasn't quite as bad as Shinryu. I maybe if I went back to Shinryu and we knew how to do it, I'm always like very uncomfortable with that last phase, just how to position myself. But same with Tsukiyomi actually, but it was better than the entirety of the Four Lords.
Oh yeah. Oh,
by
absolutely.
And I still enjoyed the Four Lords as like story wise and design wise and everything about them except the difficulties of the fight, which were a joke. They were just they were normal modes. They should have just been called hard modes. Like there's normal and then hard. They were not extremes.
They were not very hard. Not at all. Especially Byakko was very easy.
Yeah.
But like comparing because it's the third one, right? So it's the 0.1 patch. So like the other 0.1 patches were Thornton and Shinryu. So I would definitely like my personal ranking in difficulty of the 3 would probably be Thornton as the hardest. It's kind of difficult between Shinryu and Hades though, because Shinryu I really don't think is that bad, but Shinryu it's very easy for one person to wipe the raid in like the first phase, like because they could drop the tail, and just kill everybody. In Hades, I don't think you could very easily kill everybody. You could just die and then you could get rezzed.
Yeah, it was pretty. Hades is forgiving.
Yeah,
Hades is very forgiving, whereas it's not quite as much.
Yeah,
on
maybe
Shinryu. Because I would say Hades, and not to diss it, but I would definitely rank it either Thornton Shinryu for me personally, just depending on I don't know how it would be with who I am now as a player for Thornton, but definitely like safely maybe Thornton Shinryu and then Hades at the end. But it's a close between Shinryu and Hades, but Hades is definitely more forgiving. But it was very tricky to figure out.
Yeah,
and it does require a good amount of execution. But once you figure it out, it's
once you figure it out, it's definitely a dance, which is different because, like for instance, Thornton, once you figured it out, it still mattered because there was like a whole bunch of RNG involved where you had to still react and look. And the thing with Thornton that made it really hard at the time, like obviously now Thornton wouldn't be that hard even if you did it synced compared to like what we have now. But at the time when Thornton was current, like those mechanics were like
right,
whoa,
yeah,
like those things that they introduced in there. So that it was really hard. And I don't know, just overall Shinryu, while yes, one person can wipe and kill the group, Hades you can't do that, but I think the mechanics in Hades are a little harder to figure out than Shinryu. And more phases too. So that's why I'm kind of in a toss-up between Shinryu versus Hades. Like,
okay, I see what you're saying.
Like I feel like Hades mechanics overall is harder than Shinryu's mechanics, but in Shinryu it's easier for a pug to kill you.
Okay, so it has the different degrees of difficulty or difficult in different ways.
Yeah,
so I can get behind that.
And like DPS check wise, at the time Thornton was really hard DPS check wise because you would probably get to enrage and die. Like that happened a lot. Was when it was current, was you would just not be able to even kill it if your DPS weren't good enough.
Yeah.
Now I haven't really pugged Hades much. I did a little bit of pugging with it and it was completely fine. Maybe my grip was good. Yeah. I don't know.
We're raid geared though, so
yeah, that's kind of hard to find out. That maybe that's the other thing with Thornton. Not a lot of people had the Gordius gear because not a lot of people cleared Gordius.
Yeah,
so maybe that's why the DPS check at Thornton was harder because not a lot of people outgeared it.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Didn't even think about that.
versus we completely outgear it now.
Oh yeah, now it's completely fine. I yesterday I got 470, but I was like 469 when we went into Hades.
Right.
It was totally it was 467 because I only had the Titania weapon on my Black Mage because that's the only one with spell speed.
Yeah.
Before the raid weapon.
Like we can have deaths in Hades and clear.
Yeah.
Which we did. So
all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
So like Thornton, if you had deaths, you couldn't clear. Yeah. At least on launch.
Yeah, it was very hard. It was very hard because it was always like a push to be like, are we gonna get this?
Right.
And then, but like a patch later, it was like we were already killing. We were just full on killing the dude in the middle who was doing this spin slash.
Oh yeah,
take everybody down. Like he was dead.
It brought. Speaking of that, Hades brought that back because I was like, I want more fights where it's a DPS race to kill this thing. Otherwise, it hurts you really bad. And so they have that in Hades. I was so happy.
It was Laha bread.
Not Laha Brea.
Which one was it?
Nabriales.
Was it Nabriales?
I think the one guy alone is Nabriales. I think
Laha's with the Iggy.
Yeah.
That's
Iggy
right.
and Laha Brea, and then they form into Ascian Prime, which is so cool, by the way.
Oh, do they fuse? Is that how
that? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. I thought it was just another Ascian.
Well,
I remember that they did it in the story.
Yeah, like not in the actual fight. They don't, but yes, in the story they did. So I just assumed that's what it was.
Sense. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
headcanon.
My headcanon. Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
put it in there.
There you go.
There you go.
You're welcome.
Also, I want to derail real quick. I didn't notice this earlier, but we're matching today. Did you notice that?
Are we?
Your shirt and my gauges.
Oh, look at
we're
that.
We're both Legend of Zelda.
We're Zelda.
You guys can't see it, but
you
I've got
can't see. Yeah.
The what is it? The Hylian logo.
Yeah, the Hylian logo,
emblem, whatever.
So
anyway,
I can see it.
Yeah,
that's what matters.
We're a bunch of nerds.
So, Zelda's very important to me.
It's a great game.
So overall, like with Hades, it's like we've got, how many phases do we have? We've got, let me count them. There's the first phase with all the shit.
Yeah.
Then he phases at like 20%, and then we've got 10. Nabriales, right? Right after, which that's the phase where you gotta. That's the other thing, that you know how the tanks have to grab the meteors and they go in a circle. And so the 4 DPS get the tethers. So the first thing that we did was, okay, the 4 DPS just go outside from their Amarat team. What should we call them? Ancients? Because they're Amarat dudes. They're not Ascians.
Amorites?
Amorites,
I think.
Yeah. It's from the Amorites.
Yeah.
Don't
hurt yourself.
From the Amorites. So we just whichever one we were tethered to, we just went straight outside from them. And we're like, okay, we'll just shoot our big blast, our fart blast that way, right? And so we did that, and we're like, why did the tanks die? It was because if you hit the tank with it, it gives them the vuln.
Yeah, you have no idea how happy I was to finally be able to just
kill
Corey. Oh, I demolished him.
Hey, Corey.
Yeah, because people were doing it like out of nowhere. Raya's just like, because we're making really good prog, and he's like, what's happening? Why are you guys so serious? Where's the nest I know? And he's already cleared it. So I'm thinking he's going to get impatient. No, he's like, why aren't you guys killing each other more? I'm like, Raya, not right now. And everybody just like, whoo, right on me. Jesse starts rescuing me. Corey's cleaving me. I'm just like, get the hell off me. But then as soon as that phase came, I just scooted a little bit over and I clipped Corey and he died. And people were like, what happened? I was like, Drac. And I was like, no, I would never. Yeah, you would never. I would never take my magic Vaughn and put it on Corey just to kill it. No, I wouldn't.
Why would you do that?
I would not ever do that. And I totally would. And I did. And I have zero remorse about it.
See, that's very nice. You could cleave Corey now.
Yeah.
I cleaved Corey, a shirt.
I cleaved Corey.
Now I cleave Corey. Yeah. So that we figured that out very quickly. We were like, fuck. Yeah. So the next time we were like, all right, so we'll just like, if you're the one that you go outside and you're by the tank, just run away. So that was pretty cool.
Thank you, Kraken. They listed at the
there we go. So yeah, thank you, Kraken. We got Hades, right? We got Nabriales, then we got the Laha Brea and Iggy,
yeah,
which is a cool phase, the Ice and Fire phase.
Yeah, and I'm still mad at Raya for his way of remembering it is that
Mhm.
La Habrea gives you the cold shoulder and Iggy's hot.
Okay.
I'm just like, and now I always remember it.
Now I'm gonna remember it that way too. So Hades and Abrales, La Habrea and Igiorum and Iggy, and then Ascian Prime, right? And then there's Hades and then Hades Prime. Super Hades and then Hades Prime. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 phases.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty crazy. I don't think we've ever had a primal with 6 phases.
I don't know.
I think that's the most.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the whole thing was a lot of fun. It's just a very long fight, so I'm glad that they give us 2 tokens. Now that's a huge help.
It feels awesome. Like it's definitely quicker to farm up a weapon. Like I bought my summoner weapon, right? Like it was 4 kills. I had to do 4 more kills than my clear.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, this went so fast. Like even though the fight's a little bit longer than a usual one, it's still way quicker to farm it up now.
Yeah, and the fact that it's such a dance that once you learn it and your group gets it,
yeah,
as long as you have that strat down, people just go. And it gets very streamlined, and it's still an interesting fight. So, because there are things to react to at the same time, like the thing with the tethers with La Habrea and Iggy.
Yeah,
you have to keep an eye on those, and then you got to remember to switch. And the tanks have an active element in there where they have to make sure to switch like right away with who they have aggro on. Otherwise, they get too close, and then
we died to that a lot.
Yeah, it's very tricky. I would be stressed out during that because just being able to react so quickly. But I think that the most boring phases were the with the stuff dropping down, the rings dropping down. That's just annoying because it's like, oh, I'm in position. Oh, I got clipped by that little pixel off on the side because the explosions are so damn big.
In the first phase.
Yeah. But it's so easy because it's like the first one drops. Okay, go to that one. Middle dropped. Okay, go back to the middle.
Yeah.
That one space dropped again. Go back there and then you're done.
That's what we were doing. And for me on Summoner, it worked out because that's when Phoenix phase initiates. And Phoenix phase, I'm all insta casts.
Right.
So it worked out for me that I could just do it. But eventually we adopted, we were just like, fuck it. Let's just all stand in the middle. Just eat it. So we just ate it.
Can you do that?
Yeah,
that's a hell of a phone stack.
We could just eat it. It's fine. You just have to mitigate the next spread hit.
Yeah,
because you have two vuln and then you have the spread hit. We just ate it. like it was melee uptime, I guess.
New lazy strat.
Yeah, I mean, I ended up dodging it. Like what I did was when for the first round, I was in Phoenix, right? So all my casts were instant. So I would dodge the first one. And then because there's only 2 that hit the middle, I would eat the second one that was in the middle because at that point I was casting. So I was like, I just want to stand still.
Yeah.
So,
dude, I'm telling Ryan the next time he gets in a group,
just eat it.
It's like, hey, we're eating it.
Yeah.
I'll heal it. I don't care. We're eating it. I don't want
to eat it.
Because that's not bad on Black Mage either. Because I have triple cast up and I have my Xenoglossies up and I've got probably a Thundercloud proc, and I can always sharp cast a fire 1.
Yeah, you're probably good for that first part.
I'm like golden.
Yeah,
it's totally fine. I'm like, I made mention. I was like, this is really really easy on me right now, and people are like, how is the Black Mage having an easy time right here? Just like we gotta, because Yoshi P loves me.
Yeah,
or rather, he loves Black Mage, and therefore me.
He does love Black Mage.
Larry was blind and couldn't understand. So
so I'm reading chat right now. There's bringing up of the last phase with the Exaflares, which are great because that's just PTSD from Ukab.
Yeah.
So these Exaflares, as Shadowbringers has done, they come back.
Yeah.
And so we were just like, we saw this strat like after we already got there and we like were dodging it and like people were dying to it. I got hit by it too because I'm so good at Exaflares. These Exaflares are a little different than the Ukab ones, and so my my habit from Ukab is like messing with me because like I keep going into it, and then like when one disappears I went back into the other one, and so I got hit by the previous one, so like it's messing with me. But so we saw this strat where like we could like put this one waymark down, and if we go in and we just stand in that waymark, it's just always safe. You don't have to do the Exaflares. It's just safe. You just stand there in this one particular spot.
Oh, is there just one spot that's always safe?
Yeah, there's one spot you could put down and you just stand there for extra flares and you're safe.
Wow.
Yeah. So Yomu puts it down and he's like, I'm gonna do it. I'm like, you're stupid, Yomu. I'm just gonna do the mechanic. It's so easy. Just do the mechanic. And he's like, I'm gonna stand there. And so we get to the phase and I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, I don't want to wipe. I'm gonna go stand with Yomu. And so I stood with Yomu and I'm like, I hope this works because we didn't try it yet. I'm like, I hope this works, dude. And so the extra flares are coming by and we're just standing here. We're just like, and the extra flares are going by and they're like, there they go. And then the next one comes back and they're like, oh, there they go.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it was scary, but it worked.
I'm gonna have to get those notes from you because that sounds really pleasant. What we do is just go to the side, move back, move up, and then we go back to the middle.
It's kind of like how Ukab works. Like it's literally just an extra flare goes off, you go into where the previous extra flare was, you stand there.
Yeah.
But then another one's gonna go off, so you just go into that one and then you stand there.
I'll let Corey know because he has a really hard time with that sometimes.
Of like the safe spot.
If the extra flares, he just runs into them. But Corey's just prone to that anyway, so he forgets he doesn't have tank privilege when he's farming on like a ninja or something.
I mean, do tanks die to extra flares? Like we die, DPS die.
Probably not too bad. I think they can eat like 2.
Yeah, maybe they could take 2.
I know because Corey is a collector of Vuln stacks. The more Vuln stacks he has, the happier he is. So I don't know if he's watching today to confirm that, but I think he's streaming right now. You guys can all bother him later and be like, hey, how many stacks can you get? And he's like, well, 5. The game only lets me get like 8.
It caps.
Yeah. So yeah, Hades is a good fight. It was a lot of fun. I had a really good time progging that.
I would definitely rank it in my top 5. I'm not going to give you a list of my top 5 because I don't even know, but it would probably be in my top 5 primals. Yeah. Just for lore reasons alone, and what they say on the totem.
Oh,
did you read the totem?
I didn't. What's that,
dude? When you read, that's not okay. I hit Corey, because Corey was here last time. Is it a spoiler? I think it's okay.
Well, is there anything else going? What else happened?
What?
We can just go into spoilers.
Okay.
If we're talking the main story. So is there anything else with the patch that happened aside from
job changes?
Job changes. Okay.
Yeah. So I won't say it now, I guess. It's just I'll just say that the totem would make me cry. Just the description of the totem is very good. So, but yeah, we could do the job changes and then we could go over like the spoiler stuff.
Okay. So, yeah,
what are you checking?
I'm gonna check the totem.
Oh, you're gonna read it?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if it's on here.
See what it says. Yeah, there's just if when you get a totem and the description of it, usually they're nothing. Like usually the description is just like people worshipped this primal, so here's a totem made by those people who carved it. Like that's usually what they are. But this one, did you see it? Yeah, it's very good. I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna leave it as a reward for when you clear Hades and you get a totem for the first time. Just read the totem. It's very good.
It's very good. It's very good. I like it.
Right in the feels. Punches you right in the fucking face.
Oh gosh. He's such a good character.
He's so good.
Because I love him. He's kind of like a. I don't want to do too much spoiler on this either, but it's like a Thanos style character where his motives are not just berserk crazy. You can see like he has an altruistic side to him. Yeah,
he's got, to him he's the good guy.
Yeah.
So those are always interesting.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
So.
But like, especially like in the Hades fight in the last scene where it wasn't voiced because they added this, but when he goes into Hades Prime, like he's super Hades, and he takes all of his brothers, all the masks, and he fuses them in. I'm just like, this is so good.
Just to see like how strong he really was as like an entity, and like this is who we were fighting this whole time.
And like, dude, those AoEs going off, like he's making that shadow orb, and he like throws it at you. It's like you feel the impact. Like it's crazy. It's just visually, it's so good. I love the fight.
It's a very good fight. Just it definitely gets a 10 for me. Just in general, just everything that they put into it. So you did a good job, Square. You did a very
Good
good
job.
job. Very good job. So,
what did we want to talk about next? So we still have like the dungeon. I guess we could talk about the dungeon. We could talk about the dungeon and job changes and then MSQ.
Let's do job changes because the MSQ kind of ties into the dungeon itself.
Okay, you're right.
So we can say that for the end. So the one person at the beginning was wondering if you were going to eat your words about summoner changes.
So, yes, I am going to eat my words about summoner changes. But I will also say that, so from the previous podcast, the information that we had was from the live letter, right?
Correct, yeah.
So we had... we got
patch notes.
Yeah. So we got drip fed information, right? So we got drip fed the live letter and then the patch notes. We didn't do a show after the patch notes were out, right?
Didn't we have the patch notes at that time?
Did we?
I think we had the patch notes at that time.
Oh heck!
Because it was the live letter was
I didn't
on
read them
Friday,
right.
And then
shit.
Did we do the Mog Talk? Can't remember.
On the Mog Talk, okay, yeah.
Then,
so on the Mog Talk, we didn't have the patch notes yet.
Then after that, I think we did.
When we did the show, we had the patch notes.
Because that's when we were talking about, we were worried about the whole, they're making it more accessible.
Yeah.
Or playability improvements.
That's when we had Corey. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so first we had the live letter, and that's when I talked about it on Mog Talk, and I was like, this is stupid. These changes are dumb. They have no idea what they're doing, right? Then the live letter happened, and I was still apprehensive about it. Because with the patch notes, I was still worried that it with the Eggy Assaults being on global cooldown, that it would feel bad. Because obviously you have to play it to feel it, right? So I was worried that it would feel bad. And I was worried that it would kind of lock you out of wanting to use those things while in Dreadworm Trance. So therefore making the rotation even more rigid. I was worried about that because the rotation is already really rigid.
Right.
Now, after playing it, those worries are gone because there's extra things that we've learned now that we didn't know that are the case, which is, are we sure that we did the show with patch notes? Because I would have mentioned the Bahamut thing.
We had prelim patch notes. So
we had prelim patch notes.
I don't know if there was all that stuff in there, but I'm pretty sure we had the patch notes.
I would have been talking really good about the Bahamut thing.
So I don't.
That's strange.
You go ahead and I'll look up the prelim patch notes, and
because at least when I was talking about Summoner, from what I remember, I didn't know about the Bahamut change where they did fix it, where Bahamut now does do like he's not sleepy when he wakes up, and he will instantly do a worm wave, which is very good.
They did talk about that, yeah.
They didn't talk about that in live letter.
You did say you did mention. I remember you talking about Sleepy Bahamut.
I talked about Sleepy Bahamut as a thing where I was like, this is something that they're not even acknowledging. I was like, they didn't even say anything about this in the live letter. So I was like, why aren't they saying anything about it? But then in the patch notes, they were like, okay, we fixed Sleepy Bahamut. So that's like a really, really good thing that I was worried about.
Okay, well, I'm on the prelims because this came out on. Do they have it on the 28th?
The patch notes?
These are just patch notes. Where are the prelims?
Well, just the patch note, the prelim patch notes.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the prelims here.
Because I just want to know the date of like when we did our podcast versus when the patch notes were out. I don't remember if we had them.
Yeah. Maybe not, because this is saying on the 25th.
And then prelim came out on the 25th. When did we do the
23rd on my birthday?
We did okay. So I'm fine.
There you go. You're good.
This is what I'm saying. When I've been talking about Summoner.
Sorry for that, everybody.
Yeah. Well, this is like important because when I talked about Summoner on Mog Talk and on our own podcast, and I was talking bad about it, it's because the only information that I had was from the live letter.
Yeah.
And while, yes, I've talked to some people, like some theory crafters, like Nemec, he's like a really big Summoner theory crafter. He replied to me on Twitter about this kind of stuff too. And he was like, yeah, we just from what we knew of the live letter, they had good hopes about it. I didn't really research that stuff, like the theory crafter stuff, so I didn't know. But from my point of view of just from the live letter, I was like, this looks kind of bad. I was like, they kind of don't really know what they need to fix.
Mm-hmm.
After the patch notes, for me, without looking up all the Theory Crafter stuff, I was like, this looks good. I was like, the things that I was worrying about, they're good with it. And then the patch came out, and then I felt it, and I was like, okay, yes, this is good.
Yeah. We got together on Friday. Maybe that's when we were talking about Sleepy Bahamut.
Yeah.
Because they would have been out by then.
Yeah. So that was one thing I was worried about. I was like, how come in the live letter they still haven't addressed Sleepy Bahamut? Like, if you summon him and then do an action too quick, he won't do a worm wave.
Right.
So in the patch notes, they said that. They were like, okay, he's fixed. He does a worm wave right away. So that's fixed. The other thing I was worried about is if the Eggy Assaults, because they're on GCD, if they would be worth it during Dreadworm Trance. And they are, because the potencies is really high. We knew that because of the patch notes. So those were the things that I was worried about. Now, after playing it, it feels really good.
Okay, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
It feels good to play too.
I think it feels really good. Bahamut feels completely fine again. Phoenix still has the sleepies, but it's okay because I'm just used to doing it that way. You just got to triple weave on Phoenix. It's fine. It just happens. At least we don't have to do it on Bahamut. So that's okay. I think the reason why is because when Phoenix comes out, he does the heal, the Medica 2 on everybody.
Oh, yeah.
So it he's already doing something.
Right.
That's why.
Okay.
So there's that. But overall, the feeling of it feels really good. What I like is that you can almost completely eliminate Ruin 2s because your Eggy Assaults are instant now. And it's kind of a stealth buff because not only did they buff the Eggy Assault potencies, but because the Eggy Assaults are instant and because you're using the Ruin 4s for all your movement usages, you're kind of not using Ruin 2s anymore. So that right there is a buff in usage case because you would have been using Ruin 2s before.
Mm-hmm.
Even the best summoners had to use Ruin 2 sometimes.
Right.
Now you can almost completely eliminate it. So not only did the potencies get buffed, but you're also eliminating the lower potency attacks as well. Mm-hmm. So that's like a stealth buff that aren't in the patch notes, but is a buff.
Right. Okay.
So that's like big.
Makes sense.
Right. Then the other thing that was in the patch notes and all the theory crafters were scared about is in the patch notes, it said mysteriously, it was like pet attacks are now spells or something along those lines. So all the theory crafters are like, there are like two situations where this could like completely change everything. And it's like, okay, if Ifrit is scaled the same way that Garuda is and the same way that Bahamut and Phoenix are, which those are caster pets, if they're scaled the same way, then Summoner is going to be completely crazy. And so, and that is the case, is that Ifrit is scaled the same way as Garuda and Bahamut and Phoenix, the caster pets.
Now, when you say they're scaled, what does that imply? Like, what is that?
Right.
What is being scaled there?
So at the way that it used to work is Ifrit was a melee pet.
Yeah.
And so his damage is like whenever you read a Ifrit potency is not player potency. It's like half of that, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So like if he's 100 potency, an Ifrit attack would actually be like 50 potency before.
All right.
A caster pet, which is like Garuda, Bahamut, and Phoenix, are like 80% instead of half. So like 100 potency would actually be like 80 potency. So now because Ifrit is scaled the same way, he's 80% now instead of 50%. It's actually he was a little less than 50, but whatever. I'm rounding.
Yeah.
He's 80% now. He got a very big buff. So his scaling buffed and the potency's buff. So he's just crazy. He's just buff. He's Beefrit now. And honestly, like it made Summoner almost maybe a little too good. Maybe. I don't want to tell Square Enix that though.
Right.
Let's be quiet. But it might be a little on the strong side. Let me show you.
They should have changed his
this is wrong. This patch 5.1.
Yeah, there you go. Watch that change.
There we go. There's Summoner. Now this is a little misleading.
Okay.
I'll explain why.
And this is personal DPS?
This is raid DPS.
This is raid.
This is personal DPS.
Okay.
Right?
Samurai's right where it needs to be.
Samurai is good, right?
Yep.
Now, the thing is, this is slightly misleading because I'm averaging over all of the Eden bosses, right?
Okay.
So this is for patch 5.1. We're averaging over all of the Eden bosses.
Okay.
Summoner can pad on some bosses, right? So let's do a boss that Summoner doesn't pad on, right? Let's do Voidwalker.
Yeah, that'd be fair.
Voidwalker is all single target, right? It's still really good, right?
Number 2?
Number 2 in raid DPS, number 2 in personal DPS average. But as you can see here, Black Mage can hit higher.
Yeah, you have not.
If you're good.
Yeah, if you're good.
Right?
It's tough to be good in Voidwalker.
Yes. So all this really did was, yes, Summoner is very strong now, but it was actually kind of like just the average was brought really high up. A lot of people are being like, oh, Summoner's better than Black Mage now. It's not. A good Black Mage will still beat a good Summoner.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So like if we make this like a 90th percentile, see, Black Mage is still gonna beat the Summoner at 90th percentile, right? If you're good. But if you go down here, 60th percentile, the Summoner is gonna beat out the Black Mage.
So there's a lot more. The skill floor is brought up a little bit on or at least the average. Yeah. I don't know how the proper way to say that, but
yeah, just the average parse of Summoner. Like these are the averages, so you could see like what the lowest is, what the highest is, what the outlier.
What are those Black Mages doing? Get it together.
Get it together, you guys.
Look at them. They're lower than Monk on some of them.
Yeah.
Stop it. Knock it off.
Well, the Black Mage is like historically always has the biggest variance here.
Oh boy.
Like this line here is the variance, right? So like this is how low you could go on Black Mage. You could go very low. So yeah, so
painful.
Like I think it's good, honestly. I think Summoner is in a good spot. Maybe bring it down one notch.
Yeah, definitely.
One
they gotta
notch.
Just tune it, or
maybe be here. Maybe be where Monk is. Third,
because they have raid buffs. Doing that.
They got a raise, dude. They can raise.
So yeah, I think it would be fair to have it alongside Monk.
I think the
sure.
like yes, a good Black Mage will beat out a good Summoner. The average is really what matters, and what Square Enix looks at is the average player.
Yeah.
And so if the average, like this line right here,
right,
this black line, right?
That's so. But look at Samurai sitting pretty up there. I'm so proud of that.
Yeah, I'm glad for Samurai. Samurai is definitely very good.
They needed it.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that Shoha alone did that. 400 potency.
You're basically getting. They made it more like Monk, except easier, where they gave it a Forbidden Chakra.
Yeah, it's kind of
built
strange.
into the rotation.
It's kind of strange. When I was playing it on Samurai, I definitely felt where I was like, oh, I got to make sure I don't overcap.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah,
that was very tough.
That definitely happened to me. I was like, because sometimes you do like the double Iaijutsu, right? But you're already at 2 stacks, so you got to make sure that you do the Shoha before you do the second Iaijutsu.
Yeah, I've got to reorganize my hotbar so that Shoha's a little bit more present next to it.
Yeah, you gotta watch it now, because you could very easily overcap. Like if you already at 2 stacks and you're like, oh, okay, Tsubame time to do my double Midare.
Yeah.
You'll overcap on Shoha.
I really want them to add a UI element to the HUD, like to the what do you call it? Job gauge. That's it.
Yeah, that would be nice, because I'm looking at my stacks, looking at a little number 3 to know that.
Yeah.
So, but I'm really surprised that just by looking at this, like Voidwalker is a pretty good indication of personal DPS, because the fight is full uptime, single target, right? So this is a pretty good indication. I'm really just surprised that for Samurai, Shoha was that much of a buff, because its combo actions got reduced in potency. Right? So it's like, I thought it would kind of even out, maybe be a little bit higher, but it's a lot higher. So it's interesting.
Yeah. Well, you can fit all that. Like they have, like I said before, they have so many instant casts now, where you can just stuff that small window of like either trick attack or litany or the whatever.
That's true.
Chain strat.
Putting a Shoha in there is like worth way more.
Shoha, Tsubamagaishi, or Tsubamagaishi into Shoha. And then if Sene lines up with that too, just freaking destroys.
Right.
It's a lot of burst. It is a hell of a lot
So
of burst.
the thing that's weird is like for 5.1, like we have a very little sample size, right? So if we go back here and we're like, okay, so 5.0 sample size, which is big. Black Mage was hitting, I can't read, 15.3.
Oh, where are you at?
Right here?
Yes, 15.3.
So Black Mage was 15.3, right? Over 5.0. 5.1, Summoner is hitting, what is this?
15.2. 2.9. So it's
15.3.
Yeah.
So it's hitting the same as what Black Mage was hitting. So this number, 15.24 for Black Mage, is a little low. It's really 15.3.
Yeah.
So
people stopped farming. The higher ranked people stopped farming on 5.1.
So like Summoner and Black Mage are actually like very similar average right now, which is weird. It shouldn't be.
No, absolutely not.
It shouldn't be.
But and I see a lot of people like, oh, it feels bad. The Black Mage is so low compared to other things now. It's just like, it's still really fun to play. So still play it. Like if you like it, play it. Don't feel like you're forced to go into Summoner or whatever.
But that's also the average. Like if you're good, you could get higher. You could get quite a bit higher.
Absolutely.
So, like what's the max? I can't read it. Maximum
max is 16.2.
16.2 versus
15.9.
So like 300 more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still a little bit too close. I feel like you see the monk gauge right here. That should be what Summoner looks like.
Yeah.
I think. So
a little bit closer, yeah. Because you got to take into consideration their utility, what they bring in terms of raid damage, and all that stuff to make them still a viable choice to bring, but not necessarily like jack of all trades across the board. Good damage and good utility. You have to have good on one,
little bit of
decent of another.
Like I don't think Summoners should be too taxed for having the raise. And like
no.
The other thing is like it has devotion, which is 5%, but that's not a lot. It's like the worst of all the raid buffs. And then the Phoenix heal people talk about a lot of like being like a good utility. I'm like, that's like nothing.
No.
The Phoenix heal is like flavor text.
It's it's essentially like the nerf to mantra. It's like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Like I complained about it just to be sassy, but it's,
right.
It's not going to change anything. No, it's absolutely not.
Right.
But
so I think this is overall. I think this is wrong. I think these two should be swapped to be balanced. Right.
Yeah.
These averages should be swapped. So if somebody needs a tiny little nerf, Samurai is perfect where it is.
I believe so.
If we're looking at that,
there's just so much movement in Eden. I'm sure Black Mage is really, really hurt by E4.
You want to look at E4?
Yeah, let me see E4. Maybe I'm bad. Maybe I'm just bad, but I think
personal DPS here. So that's raid DPS. Look at Black Mage.
Wow.
Look at this variance here.
Yeah, because if you don't know how to mitigate some of that movement, it's really rough.
So
it's very rough.
Personal DPS still beat out by Summoner.
But average the highest though.
But yes, like this right here is like if we go to like 90th percentile, I'm sure it'll beat it out. Yeah, 90th percentile is where Black Mage beats out Summoner. Yeah. Is that okay? I think it should beat it out at like 75, but no. So
yeah, I can attribute some of that to. I mean, I still think I figured out some ways in Eden 4. Like I said, it made me a better Black Mage player.
Yeah.
But holy crap, this tier was not caster friendly whatsoever.
Oh, it's never caster friendly, dude. Welcome to caster.
Well, it was a lot better than Melee and Omega. Holy crap, that one was rough.
See, now Melee and like if O11S existed now, it wouldn't be so bad with like all the changes to True North.
Monk would be soaring right now.
Yeah.
Samurai would still be pretty good right now too.
I think this is wrong that I have to go all the way up to 90th percentile for Black Mage to even out with Summoner.
Yeah.
It should be where Monk is.
Right. And that's all I mean is that since it does have some utility to bring it up in raid DPS, it shouldn't be that great in personal either.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
Not as good. Like take off 2%.
Take off a little bit.
Yeah, it's just 2 or 3%. That's fine.
Leave Buffy for it though. I like that.
Buffy for it, yeah.
I like beef for it.
Beef for it.
Yeah, he's beef.
Beefy.
Yeah.
Beefy boy.
Samurai though, I'm feeling good about this. So ranged poor ranged. I feel like even with the buffs that they got, like Dancer got some pretty hefty buffs. Finally beat out Bard, I guess.
What the hell is Bard doing down there?
Dancer used to be down here. Look, if we pull up patch 5.0.
Oh yeah, I know. As Raya said,
see, they swapped.
Dancer was the Astro of of DPS.
Yeah, they swapped. See, Dancer is now beating out Bard. If we go to all percentiles instead here,
it's crazy though.
They could see like the average is that line again.
Why is Machinist still so low though? Does Machinist give anything?
Machinist is no. Machinist
Right.
is the selfish ranged. Machinist is the problem. Machinist needs to be up here.
Absolutely.
With these guys.
Yeah, at least with Dragoon. At least. What is going on with that?
This is wrong, by the way. Machinist should be up here with the Black Mage and the Samurai. The Summoner should be down here.
Yeah.
With the Monk. Summoner and Monk should be like even. And then the top 3, I would say, should be Samurai, Black Mage, Samurai, Machinist is I think the order it should be.
Yes, considering that Black Mage is more risk reward because of cast size.
Black Mage, Samurai, Machinist for the top 3 personal.
I would say that if I was a Samurai main right now too, so just calm down in the comments if anybody thinking, oh, of course Drake thinks Black Mage should be top. No, it's Yoshi P even thinks that it should be top. And of course, but that's not a good argument because he's a Black Mage.
Black Mage is
it's a power top.
Absolutely. Look at Dancer personal.
Yeah.
Ugh. But the median Dancer is like several magnitudes lower than the lowest Summoner. I
mean, aesthetically, it looks really good because they've done really well on, I would say, most job identities. Now, like design, feel, rotation, flow. I think it's done really, really well for what Final Fantasy is.
Yeah, it's great.
Now they just got to tune it up a little bit.
This is our DPS
show some more love to Machinist potencies or whatever the problem is with the Machinist. I'm leveling it right now. But which I'm happy to see that clipping is not an issue.
Wow.
I still go back to when I opened up with that the stuff and I was getting into arguments with people because I was like, no, you can't clip, and then you're like, no, remember you have the off globals there. I was like, oh shit, you're right. I forgot about that. But still, it's like between globals, you can get both of those in with moderate ping.
Machinist?
Yeah. Like between my globals, I can get the Ricochet and Gauze round
during Wildfire. I mean, not Wildfire. Overheat.
No.
Yeah,
I'm talking about globals, not Heat Blast.
For all of the globals,
for Heat Blast,
I could do both.
I can weave just fine.
I could weave both also. But if it's Heat Blast, I can only weave one.
Just one, yeah. Don't try to double weave during Heat Blast.
I was like, do not double weave that. No. You got 1.5 seconds, my friend.
No. So, but I will say I'm sorry for coming hard on people with that. I still just feel bad with it because I've been playing Machinist lately. I'm just like, I was so stressed out though at that point with all the like influx of people.
Yeah,
but I still like it. It's show some love, Square.
Please. It should be up there.
Definitely.
Machinist should be up in this kind of range right here. Dancer and Bard, I think they're okay to be that low because they bring so much raid DPS. But I mean, if I'm ranking by raid DPS here, shouldn't everything be about even?
Yes.
Wouldn't that be the balanced way? Is if I go R DPS, everything's like the same?
Yeah, that's the idea. That is the idea.
That's the idea.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how different are we talking? It's like 13k versus like 14.5k. We're talking about like 1k DPS difference.
Yeah,
that's pretty close, honestly. 1k variance from the lowest to highest.
Does this consider like raid DPS is considering like how much damage you give to people?
Yeah,
or how much you get from people too.
You give.
Just giving.
Okay. Yeah. So like your personal is your damage taking out all of the buffs that you received. So like if you're a dance partner, like let's say you're a samurai and you got dance partner,
right?
This graph right here is gonna take out your dance partner buff.
Okay, but then the raid DPS will be higher.
Raid DPS, no, it gives it to the dancer.
Oh, to give it. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
And so like Dragoon, eye tether, whoever they gave it to, if they gave it to the samurai,
that goes to them.
That goes to the Dragoon.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dragoon should be a little bit higher with that. Black Mage, get your ass up there.
What am I at? 80th percentile right now? Right here?
Yes. That's 80th.
Just make it all again.
Okay.
I'm going to switch actually over to Hades really quick. So Hades is going to be a little different because it's...
Oh, hot damn.
Oh, wait. This is all bosses. Hold on. Hades. There we go.
Oh, boy.
5.1.
Where the hell is Black? What's wrong with Black? Guys.
Look at the variance on Black Mage. It's
Pick
the
it-
whole graph.
Pick it. Oh, gosh. Do I have to do a guide? Jeez Louise. This is terrible.
Push Fire 4.
Oh, my goodness.
And Despair at the end, please.
I don't think I'm the best by any means, but
Look at that. The
my
variance is the
goodness.
entire graph.
Okay, hang on. Riot posted logs real quick. Let me see what I was at just for Eden, because I don't think we posted anything
2.
for Hades. Shut up.
So, but so if we look at like 80th percentile, Summoner's top, right? We have to go all the way up to max percentile before Black Mage overtakes Summoner. The very best Black Mage is the only way to surpass Summoner.
Gosh.
So that's a little wrong, I would say. Right? Even at 90th. Yeah, you got to go to the very best Black Mage in all of Hades right
I
now
wasn't doing
can
very
surpass
well.
Summoner.
So, what do we say? 15.3 is the median right now? For
Something like that in E2.
Oh, in E2. Let's see.
Yeah,
what
it's
I did
all
in
it's all
E2.
fight specific.
I didn't use pots though. Do they consider pots in this?
Yes.
Okay, then that's probably where I'm going to be lacking a little. Oh, I was 16.1 in E2.
Okay. So you're above the median. You're above 50th percentile. Then.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
So okay, I'll be able to make a guide then. Just like make sure
I'm better than
I know
half.
at least a little better.
Your blues at least.
How do you tell? Like that's
If you go to, you just gotta go to. Do you want me? I'm not gonna show on the screen,
not
but
right
if
now,
you
not
go
right
to,
now.
like, if you just search your character.
Sorry, everybody listening.
Yeah. If you just search your character on FF logs,
Oh, just search it. What if I have the log open right here?
just search your character
Just
on
search my
FF logs.
character. Okay.
It'll show all of your things, and then it'll show you colors, right? And you're like, okay, green's kind of bad, blue's okay, purple's good. You should probably just be purple at least on everything, and then at least blue on everything, really. And then orange, you'd be like sucking some FF logs penis to get orange.
Yeah, I'll see if I don't know if he made these public.
Yeah, so Sphia, basically, yeah, Irish brought that up. Yeah, so like the only person who beat the summoners in Hades is Sphia, the Black Mage. So yeah, kind of the problem though is that in Hades, you can pad AOE. So
Yeah, I'm at least blue.
all right, then you're good. You can make a guide.
So
You are allowed.
yeah, but because that's really rough. It's only because I want to help the people at that lower end, because that is really rough.
I like the average there.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing to keep in mind that while like you could see, like if I show the variance here again, is the fight is new, so every job has a bunch of variants. Like look at Ninja. Ninja has a ton of variants too, and so does Red Mage and Summoner. Like a bunch of them have a lot of variants, and it's because the fight's new. It's just Black Mage lends itself to having high variance because it's easy to be bad at it and
Yeah.
easy to be good at it
but
too. So
there's so many tools at Black Mage's disposal. You just have to know how to kind of use it.
yeah.
You just got to know how to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Because one thing that I don't know the best way to do it, but like in Titan, say with crumbling down, the I think that's the bombs that you drop,
Yeah.
that you hide behind one.
Yeah.
I'll put on the DPS one, wherever the first one goes, I'll put the ley lines,
Uh-huh.
and then I'll rush to wherever I need to go. I lose a couple globals on that,
Right.
But then I'll just skate right back as soon as that drops.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I'm lucky, that's where we hide, and I get my ley lines. If not, I just move.
Yeah. There's
yeah, otherwise you
guides.
don't get it
If
at
you
all.
check out the balance Discord, what they usually do is like for each raid tier, like for Black Mage specifically, they'll put out guides of like very specific tricks that you can do in each
I'm
encounter
gonna have to get
for
in there.
uptime. So they'll like list out each encounter and be like, okay, for this mechanic, do this. For this mechanic, make sure you put your ley lines here and then do this. And use this at this time. And just tricks like that.
They're good people. They're good people over there. I had some of them talk to me about monk stuff.
Yeah.
During the when we got back from the media tour.
Media tour?
Yeah.
So the other big change of job that we had was Ninja. I can't really talk too much about Ninja. I just know Yomu's been playing Ninja, and he says that he kept going back and forth on if he liked it or not. I feel like a lot of Ninja mains keep going back and forth on if they like it or not. I see a lot of people who aren't Ninja mains like it a lot. That's really all I have to say about it. The changes are pretty drastic playstyle wise, so it's kind of like
Tate's been happy with it.
So Tate's a Ninja main, so he likes it. Yeah. So it's kind of just like what playstyle you like, I suppose. Because yeah, like overall, I feel from outside looking in at Ninja, the way Ninja plays, I feel like the play style looks fun and appealing to me.
Yeah.
So I think the change was good.
Okay.
But just play style is different. Its damage is good. I feel like I like the trick attack change.
Some people are saying that Tate doesn't like it.
He doesn't like it? Are we misinterpreting here?
I mean, the last time I talked to him, he was really happy with it because when we were in Hades, because he was hitting like the new Hyotone, whatever. I forgot the name of it, but the ice shuriken. Yeah, that was like for 110k.
It's like super buffed.
Yeah, it was like super strong.
Yeah.
So, and he was saying that the flow was good. He didn't say it was perfect, I don't think, but he was happy with it, and I think he's going to be playing it. He's going to be playing it in the next tier.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, from what I've seen, like a lot of summoner ninjas keep going back and forth on if they like it or not.
This morning he said the more he plays, the less he likes it. That's kind of his thing in general.
Well, but not just Tate, but like in general too. Like, I feel like that is what people are doing with Ninja.
I wonder why there's that dissension.
I don't know. Like, I think it's like a question of if you like the new play style or not. So that those people are trying to figure out if they like it. Because it's a very drastic playstyle difference. It's like, imagine you're playing a job for so long and then the playstyle completely changes after 6 years.
Yeah. So, but it's just like to go into it and be like immediately, this is amazing, I love this. And then like, maybe not. Yeah. It's very strange. Like, yeah. I don't know. It's that was the impression that I got, was that it was doing pretty well. So that's why I went with it. But
right.
I don't keep up with every single person's stream either.
I think balance wise it's good, so we'll leave it at that. I suppose it's, from what I can tell, raid DPS wise, Ninja and Dragoon are very similar, so I think it's in a pretty good spot. The only thing overall that I would say that still needs some help is the ranged role. I think still needs a little oomph in it. That's absolutely really it.
I know that they're very apprehensive, it seems, to give supports too much because they don't want people to meta them and be like, you have to have this or you can't play, kind of a thing. But right now it's like they at least need to give it a nudge every few patches to be like, hey, here, is this okay? Is this okay? Because they're really far back right now, considering like how close everything else is on that chart, within like 3% of each other, 2 or 3%, like just kind of that gradual slope, and then it gets to the range and it's like a sharp turn.
Right.
So that definitely needs some help.
It needs help. Yeah. Summoner needs anti-help.
They
made it too good. But it feels good.
Yeah.
So if they just, whatever it feels like right now, leave that. Maybe take away a little bit of potency. A little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe don't do that, actually. Just leave it. Just leave it.
Just leave it, nudge everything else up.
Yeah, nudge everything else up.
Yeah, we'll see, because I mean, it's hard to give somebody a piece of candy and be like, well, you can't have all of it.
Ooh, piece of candy.
And then take it away like halfway through.
Yeah, they like, it's on Halloween, like you put the ball out and you like hand it and you're like, take as much as you want, and you're like, I'll take 5, and they're like, actually, I only wanted you to take 4. It's like that. So, and they were all Milky Ways too. So
yeah, and I agree. I still agree that Black Mage is in a good spot. I think that I really, because it is so gratifying when you get it done well. So people, I would even if I probably won't ever get around to making a guide, but you guys should definitely look up balanced Discord stuff and just get more comfy with it.
Yeah. I completely forgot about Red Mage. Chat just brought it up. Red Mage is a little undertuned now.
Is it? I thought it got a buff.
It did.
But no
not enough.
Not enough.
So did Summoner. So Red Mage needs a little more oomph, probably, along with the ranged roll. The whole ranged roll, and by ranged I mean physical ranged and casters put together, is so wonky right now. Because before, Black Mage just overtook all of them. Now it's kind of like Black Mage and Summoner are kind of even. Red Mage is a little too far behind, honestly. It needs a little bit more oomph. A little bit. Yeah. Other than that, I think it's okay.
For me, I will say that I'm not upset if Summoner kind of overtakes a little bit right now. Yeah. But I'm going to get really annoyed over time if people are be like, why aren't you playing Summoner? Why aren't you playing Summoner?
Because you could have the res and still do more damage.
Yeah. So that will get old really fast.
Yeah.
Because I'm happy on Black Mage. I like it. I like it a lot, and I like switching back and forth between Samurai and Black Mage. But it's I'm not. I didn't pick Black Mage because it was high DPS. I picked it because it was fun. So I'm gonna keep doing that. So I think they're getting their bearings though, and I'm glad that your apprehensions about Summoner weren't on the mark.
Yeah.
A part of me is just like, dang it, I kind of wanted somebody to share my anger with Monk on Stormblood.
Nope, I'm good. Thanks Yoshi P. I think they unknowingly buffed it too much because I don't think they knew. This is kind of weird to say. Like, I don't think they realized how much of a buff changing Ifrit scaling would do. Like that's enormous. Like if they, for instance, if they made pets the same scaling as player potency, Summoner would overtake Samurai now. Summoner would be the highest DPS no matter what.
Yeah, because you got two things.
Yeah,
2 people attack doing the job of one.
2 jobs in one person.
Yeah, that's very strong.
So yeah, it's in a good spot, and it feels good to play, which is what I care about. So the Eggy Assault change was very, very good.
Yeah.
That's really all I have to say about job change wise. Yeah.
We went pretty in on it. So
yeah.
If anybody has any comments further on it, or if you want to share your experiences, maybe you want to come back a month later and tell us how Ninja is for you at it. That's still so wonky for me to be like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
Never. Well, I mean, like you're playing it,
right?
How do you have such a drastic change? And I will say, no disrespect, but like we've had that before where people are like they play a new job and they're like, oh, this is great, and then it's just like because it's new.
Yes.
But then to have somebody who's played it consistently for like raid stuff in other groups and then be like, this is great, and then have that honeymoon period just kind of fall off is
it's
very
a honeymoon period.
Very odd.
It's also a Dunning-Kruger effect, which is when you first start. Dunning-Kruger effect is like, if you guys haven't heard about it before or don't know, it's basically like ignorant, but you don't know it. So, for instance, like you start Summoner, right? And you're like, you just start playing and you're like, this is amazing. It's easy. There's not really much to it. It's just great. And then you start learning a little bit more, and all of a sudden you realize, wait, I don't know shit.
Oh, you're playing it wrong, and
I was playing it wrong that whole time. But before, you thought that you knew everything about it. And then once you got into it a little bit more, your knowledge increases, your confidence goes down again. And you're like, oh, I actually didn't know anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've definitely been there on Summoner. I'll be like, oh, this kind of feels great. This is my exact experience with Summoner.
So as you first start off, you're like, this is easy. I could do this. You start learning a little bit more, and you're like, shit, this is actually really hard. My confidence goes all the way down here. That's the Dunning-Kruger effect.
I could see it a little bit more understandable in that way.
Yeah.
It's still a very strange phenomenon to me.
It is weird.
Right now.
It's weird.
So anyway, we'll hope that Red Mage gets better. I am leveling it just so that I can have something in Prague, but I mean, if Summoner has reses, I might just take in Summoner for the reses, just to help out the group for the most part, not really just myself.
Chat's crying about Red Mage because we're not even mentioning it in this conversation.
I don't have it maxed, so I don't want to say too much on it. I'm working on it, but I also numbers are the last thing that I really care about.
Just how it feels.
Yeah, how it feels, how it plays. Make sure that you're at least hitting DPS checks. And if you're doing that, you're fine.
Yeah.
If you're going for numbers, then that's a whole other thing. You're in another group entirely. But I still like the way that it plays. I think the acceleration, correct?
Yeah, the acceleration change made it so your opener is consistently the same always.
I don't know an opener, probably because I'm still leveling and I might need a couple more things to get into it. I'm at 75 right now.
Well,
so
imagine your opener was RNG dependent. It's such that like sometimes you get to go into your, because you got to build up the mana to do the melee attack and get scorched eventually. That was always different. How long it took you to get there for the opener, and you're like, I care about being in my pot. I care about being in my opener buff windows. So the acceleration change made it so it's always the same.
Oh, okay. So that in terms of consistency, that's a good thing.
It's good.
I'm totally on board with that. In general, for the gameplay, I didn't really mind the procs too much because maybe I was just really lucky.
Well, it's still procs. It's just like
there's more guaranteed windows. Guaranteed windows.
Yeah,
which is fine. It's fine. So that feels good. I don't mind it, and it is kind of a load off my mind to be able to be like, all right, now I can plan out the next 6 globals,
right?
That I have to do,
pretty much,
because it's the hard cast and then
the
instant cast after that. So roughly,
I forget what the cooldown is on it, but I don't remember if they made it any longer. I don't remember, but it has a fairly long cooldown on it. Maybe like 45 seconds or something like that. I can't remember.
I have it open here. I'm opening it again.
Yeah.
Let me look for red mage.
But it's pretty much just like when you do your opener now, it's like, okay, I can expect to always do the same thing in my opener now. And then past that, it's like, okay, I've got 3 guaranteed procs. So you're going to build your black and white mana faster also, guaranteed because of that. Which means more melee attacks.
Now it's 55 seconds. So
55. Oh, maybe it was 10 seconds more then?
20 seconds more. It used to be 35.
Oh, okay. So 20 seconds longer.
Yeah, it's 10 seconds longer on the duration of it. So you have longer to get them out.
Yeah, that doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Applies
Interesting.
To Ver Arrow and Ver Holy too. That's pretty neat. For Ver Holy gets accepted by it too.
And those are really why you play Red Mages, for the finishers. Ver Holy and Scorch.
Those are very, very satisfying.
Yeah, they're very satisfying.
But yeah, mostly across the board here is a either 20 to 30. No, actually 30 to 40 potency increases on certain things.
On what? Red Mage?
Contra 6 had a 30%. Yeah. Jolt 2 had a 30%. Enchanted Reprise had a 40 potency.
Which is the ranged attack.
Enchanted or Enhanced Jolt increases the potency of Ver Thunder and Ver Arrow by 40.
Yeah, so it has some potency increases too. It wasn't enough though, which is really the overall
which is really surprising. But I think that kind of goes to show how tricky the balancing can be, because they can be something that we thought would be pretty minimal on Summoner be almost game breaking.
Yeah, it was huge.
It was an enormous.
It was like 150% buff. Like, to some parts. It's
like trying to put on a Band-Aid on something and accidentally injecting them with steroids.
Yes.
I don't know how you do it, but they did it.
That's what they did. they injected Ifrit with steroids specifically.
Yeah. Just that one guy. But I mean, he should just come out in his full primal form at this point.
Yeah.
Why is he even an Eggy?
They do some flame breaths.
Yeah, he should just come out. Mm-hmm. I still want that so much. Just a mini version.
We gotta stop.
A mini version, just a full primal like body, but he's like just hanging out on your shoulder the whole time.
You're good. No, my hopes and dreams. You're ruining.
And he just runs off and punches things.
All right, we're done. Next is MSQ discussion.
All right, spoiler time. Spoiler time. If you guys haven't gone through it, this is time to check out. For those of you leaving at this point, please check out our Twitter. I think that's what else do we have, and the YouTube channel. We will be uploading the pods there.
Yeah,
if you're already on Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. So if you want to listen to this later on, that's where we'll be. If you're listening to there already, you're already there, so you know. Good on you. Excellent. Good job.
Hi.
Hello.
So MSQ.
MSQ, which is so it starts off with a dungeon. So everybody's being called back. We realize that the dissonance between the spirit and the bodies are becoming a little bit more wonky as time progresses. And now things are a little bit more urgent as far as the main objective now is to get people into their original bodies.
Yeah. Which is, from my okay, I'm not a super lore heavy guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I read the story and I enjoy it, but sometimes I skim. Okay?
Yeah.
And I will say that this patch I skimmed.
Okay. I did not. So
when it got to the political stuff, I skimmed.
Oh, right. That's
I got bored.
to me.
I skimmed. So we're not there yet though, but I skimmed that part with the whole Yomor shit. I skimmed that.
Yeah.
I'm
that was
sorry.
really cool.
Yeah, I skimmed. No. But from my understanding, right? So if you know the lore a little bit better, my understanding is that they're looking for a way to transfer their soul, which is currently on the first, and they want to get their soul back onto the source.
Yeah.
Right? So
safely.
So their plan was, from my understanding, to put it into something that can hold it, which would be a white aura site. Right? So they were like, okay, let's put it in this thing.
Something, they wanted to attach their souls to an item because so that if we take them with us, they are our possession. We're in possession of the item. But it was a harder thing.
Like we bind to it.
Yeah, because at first they were like, what if we just pretend like we're the Warrior of Light's possessions? And then they're like, no. And then Alize cries because that's been her dream this entire time. To belong to the Warrior of Light.
Oh my god.
And
perfect.
Yeah. So the white they're trying to come up with different ways to do it. And in this process we end up kind of running through the rest of the story and like different branches. So
wait, why did we go to the dungeon? The dungeon was because Graha was like, these guys know about the soul. Maybe we should go learn about the soul.
The Numo, sorcerer. But forewarning, I'm sorry, Ethis. I still love you, and I'm really sorry for butchering any of this. I'm not the lore go-to person, but I was at least somewhat paying attention to the story.
Oh yeah, no, we're completely. Well, I'm in particular completely.
We'll bring him on next time.
This, yeah. we need a lore expert, but you know.
So the Numo actually specialize in souls, and this is actually really cool because it ties into the job stories. If you remember that. So you were telling me to do this. It's the tank storyline.
Yeah.
This is the part because this sorcerer is the cause, not necessarily the cause, but the progenitor of the.
He made it.
The stuff or the technique,
the plague
to alter spirit forms, which was initially intended to help people, but then it was used to warp people's souls into like essentially void scent type things. So
that's not what he wanted to have.
And so then they isolate themselves, and then we tell them to come, and then they do. The words of power is the the joke. I love it every time they do that thing where they're doing play on words like to sit. You can't sit this out. These wounds over time will come to heal, and it's just I love it so much. Just seeing their like mental breakdown is like I want to be pet so much.
Oh my god.
But the dungeon itself, just on a side note, was really cool. I thought it was neat, and it's the first time I've heard Corey, our raid geared tank, be afraid of dying on a trash pull.
Which trash pull?
He big pulled, and he was like, this might have been a bad idea. This is hurting a lot. So thankfully he had the raid geared black mage in there to kill everything super quick. And in pugs, when I get it in roulette, I'll use limit break on the big pulls because it gets real dicey if they don't die quick enough. Yeah.
I guess I haven't paid attention too much to the damage that they do. I just felt like it, like trash wise, it was kind of similar, but there's that one trash. I think it's after the first boss. That's like knockoff Thornton knights.
Yeah.
You were like, oh, these are just knockoff Thornton knights. And then after we killed them and it was the guy on the horse, we were like, that's knockoff Thornton.
Yeah. It was kind of cool because it was the royalty or the court of what are they called from the Pixie Land? What was Vobert?
Vobert, yeah. I would have never came to that name. I know the name, but I would have never
it's hard.
said it on my own.
The Vobertian knights and stuff, the people that like he had such a, I think he or she, I don't actually think Nomu have they're, I don't think they procreate anyway. So they have. There's a romance storyline in one of the side quests.
Do they have penises?
I don't even know, dude. I'm not. We'll ask Athos later.
Do they have toes?
I think they do have toes.
All right, that's good.
They got fingies and toes.
Okay,
long tails too. And they got ears for rubbing.
Okay.
I was having a good time in chat there.
Well, for the dungeon, what was the first boss?
The first boss was them in their Void Scent uniform. Why
am I drawing a blank?
There was the brooms and the puddles.
Oh, okay, yeah. That was kind of cool. The Mickey Mouse part with the puddle.
Mickey Mouse part.
Yeah, the Mickey Mouse part with the brooms and they clean up.
I didn't quite get it yet. I didn't get it the first time, and then the second time I went through, I was like, oh, those puddles give you a safe spot, and then it clicked.
The puddles are bad, I thought.
Yeah, but since the brooms are going across, but the brooms that hit the puddles start sweeping around.
That's bad.
Yeah. But if they stop on the puddles, they're not going across the map. Mm-hmm. So you can stand in line with that broom and the puddle, and you'll be safe. You can just stand.
Oh,
there.
I see what you meant. Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. I see what you meant. So that one was cool.
Holy crap! The last boss. I don't remember the second boss. The last boss, though.
I forgot the second boss.
I have no idea. The last boss was really cool.
It was,
because passing the fire like that was just very neat.
Yeah,
it was a very cool.
We died the first time.
You ran out of stuff, huh?
No, we just died. We just burned. We were like, what do we do with this?
We just burned.
We just caught fire and died.
It's the this is fine meme.
Yeah.
But you're literally on fire. It's not your surroundings, it's just you. Like, maybe this isn't very good, is it?
Yeah, because we got the buff. Like, it's like you get the blue fire. Yeah, you get the blue fire and you have a buff ticking down. You're like, what do I do? And then we all just died.
Because I was curious. I was like, why are these things targetable? Like, what is the purpose? We're gonna have to play the piano.
I thought they would be ads.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, wait, and then we like walked over to it, like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's very cool.
This is fine. Burns to a crisp.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's funny.
Good mechanic.
Yeah,
I liked it. Right away, the second time we're like, oh, yeah, okay. We got to light the place on fire.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Burn it down. Good dungeon.
Sophie burned a bunch of furniture and almost wiped.
Yeah, you could do the opposite where you burn it all.
Yeah,
and then you run out, and then you go on fire.
That's what I thought you were gonna do. But
nope. we didn't want to burn the furniture. We didn't want to touch anything, so we just died.
Yeah. I love that. Never change, Sophie.
What was the second boss?
What was the second boss?
Oh,
the plants. The plant.
Oh yeah, because you gotta pick up the nut. I didn't want to do that. Summoners don't do mechanics. They do too much DPS.
Yeah.
I'm too busy.
I
don't want to pick up that
black
nut.
Mage. Yeah, I do it because I also don't want to deal with that ad because I don't want to be poisoned.
You're a better man than me. I don't mind if the ad spawns. I pad my numbers.
Fair enough. Those sweet dungeon parses.
My dungeon parse.
Yeah.
Gotta get 99 orange.
It is no nut November, so yeah, I guess we'll excuse you on that.
Exactly. I can't touch any nuts.
No nuts. Yeah, get away from those nuts. It's against the law.
What the fuck, Yoshi P? Why would you introduce a dungeon with nuts in it? A no nut November. I mean, honestly, at least wait for Destroy Dick December. Come on. You okay? I think I learned that from Yomu, by the way. Destroy Dick December. Yeah.
That's
He's like, I'm training.
You idiot.
Like, what do you mean? Yum was a bad influence, dude. Stop. You want to know how Destroy Dick December works?
I can guess.
Do you want to guess, or do you want to know? Each day you nut for each amount of days as has gone by in December. So the first day it's 1 time, second day it's 2 times.
You're gonna die.
Yeah, you'll die on December 31st.
Oh no.
That's why it's called Destroy Dick.
This is so funny because it's not November and then you just explode. That's what I thought. Just pounding it out.
Stop. Okay. Yeah, so why would Yoshi P do that to us?
Do you remember in Looney Tunes when the strong person would like shake hands with the person and then they take their hand away and it's like real clamped on one side? I figure that's like your dick at the end of November, in the first week of December.
Oh no.
Death by hand, snoo. Okay. Oh, I'm lightheaded. All right.
I'm looking forward to New Year's Eve. Gonna do that dungeon 31 times. Okay. For the gear. The gear's
the
glamour.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right.
I could be a furry. Officially. You okay?
Yeah, I'm getting there. All right. So
what did you think about the gear?
The gear's all right. I still prefer the stuff from the Wukong dungeon.
Yeah, me too.
Or was it Daisheng? Wu Daisheng? I don't know. Was
Monkey
Monkey Man?
Yeah.
Monkey Fist. So yeah, I think that's the gear. Gay Batman that's what Raya calls it.
Yeah.
It's my gay Batman gear. I'm like, okay, Raya.
Yeah, because it's just nice.
So he's got a cape.
What did we learn from the dungeon? We met the guy, the dog guy.
Yeah,
because he's a doggy. And he didn't want to tell us the spell or whatever, but he told us eventually because we're cool, right? And so what do? We got to test it. We got to try it out.
Well, we're trying to come up with ways to like do it, and then as they're going through the story, they're figuring out that the white aura site, which has worked up until this point, isn't quite as foolproof as they thought. It's because the separation, they have to put their minds dormant in order to separate it from their form, and then to put it into the soul and the mind together into the thing. So that would be, I forget what exactly the issue was with it, but it wasn't. The aura site wouldn't be able to maintain them, or they might not be able to maintain their consciousness.
Isn't that kind of big? Because we know that it's like we have a soul and a mind and a body.
Yeah.
Versus like before, I think it was just like we knew we had a body and a soul, but now we know there's a body and then there's 2 parts over here, a soul and a mind.
Yeah.
Which are like not physical things.
Yeah, they gave themselves corporeal form.
Very strange.
Yeah, it's all very neat lore stuff.
Yeah,
but that's the main issue that they're having now, is trying to figure out how to maintain both of those. How
to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then so we were testing it though, like Doggy wanted to learn, right? So we tried it out in those dudes in that first camp. Alice's camp, with the little boy.
No, I think they hit a roadblock, and then what was the thing? No, okay, so they wanted to. Okay, so they wanted to make the mind dormant, which meant stasis.
Yeah,
which is what light aether does.
Oh,
so then they wanted to examine the people from the camp in order to the daycare camp for killing kids.
Yeah,
that
can't.
Since their souls are becoming dormant, they wanted to analyze how the transformation into a sin eater was affecting them, and if they could glean anything from that to put their souls in a safer stasis.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing that, Alize figured out a way to somewhat help them.
Right. So, which kind of did help them because he talked a little bit. He said, "Mom."
Yeah.
Which apparently is what he also said in the first part of Shadowbringers. He also said, "Mom." before she changed or something. He said the same thing that he said earlier. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it felt even better. But yeah, apparently like it started working on them, and then they just needed some treatment. What
if his mom was the angel?
Oh,
that's why he followed it out.
Oh, maybe.
That would have been.
But we killed her.
Yeah, just like Eileen.
Oh yeah,
Or
Tesleen.
Tesleen, sorry.
That's his mom, right?
No, Tesleen was his caregiver.
Oh, I thought Tesleen was his mom.
No, I'm thinking that the one that turned Tesleen into a Sin Eater might have been his mom.
Oh,
shit!
Interesting. So then, oh wait, the way that she had to do that though, she had to like. This was strange to me. She had to like make a porksy out of clay, which was hilarious, by the way.
I want a meme template of the same as like we had for I forgot Hades' real name now, or his other name.
Emmett?
Yeah, Emmett, where he's like looking and then looking off.
Yeah.
His Alfino busting up laughing and then like
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love their interactions now. They've become
they're so good.
Animated. I love it.
It's very anime. Their animation,
which is good.
It's good.
It's Final Fantasy 14. Nobody's playing it in denial that they're a weeb.
It is a little weeby, but that's okay. So yeah, that was good. I kind of didn't really understand it though. Like, I guess my assumption is like because they made a familiar, it made it easier to like through the familiar, you're able to do the treatment better.
Yeah, it was an the familiars can be specialized for one thing. So the Numo is telling her how to start like the process of reanimating a soul, basically, or to counteract the stasis.
Yeah.
By pouring in her own ether. And then the familiar also amplifies those effects.
Right.
So it's basically a catalyst.
Okay.
So it's able to you're putting it into a loudspeaker and then injecting it into them.
That makes sense.
Which is essentially the kind of like the soul potion. It's the same type of idea.
Yeah.
So that when we're giving the soul potion to everyone and seeing like the varying effects, and it's basically a living version of that.
Okay.
From what I can think of.
Right. We're coming short on time, but I kind of want to finish up.
Yeah.
The rest. The other part that I like skimmed through was like all the political stuff of like Yulmore and like the dude. What's his name?
Chai.
He like ran away or something because she's like worrying that he won't be a good leader.
No, so his wife thinks that he's leaving or he ran away.
Yeah.
But and he wrote a note to her to let her know what he was going to do.
She just didn't read it.
Yeah, because he's the entrepreneur. He's got that spirit, and he's like, all right, got to get stuff done.
Yeah.
And he goes out to figure out what the problems are. Like he's born leader in showing in this, because he goes out and he's like, all right, what's the problem here? What's the problem here? What's the problem here? And he's like identifying all the issues that Yulmore currently has and trying to come up with ways to do it. And one of his the main thing that you end up doing with him is figuring out how to win the trust of Vothri's ex advisor
with the Shire coat.
Yeah,
I like his coat.
Yeah, so we're trying to win him over, and then the guy eventually is like, you know what, I was wrong about you. You're a great leader. And so he's the political side of things, while Chai is trying to figure out ways just to make it Yulmore sustainable and a good place for people to live, because everybody kind of got very slothy.
Right.
So he's trying to renovate or reinvigorate. That's not the right word either. The business, trying to establish relationships with the outer villages and make sure everybody has work and a purpose and cooperation, and just make it a functioning country again.
Okay. The thing that I liked about him was after he came back to Yulmore and he gave the speech, and he's just like, I don't want to stay leader. I'm just doing this for right now.
Yeah, he did the whole George Washington.
I'm just helping, bro. Yeah, and then he becomes president.
Yeah.
So he's probably just going to be leader anyway. But I like that he didn't care about that.
He's had a very accelerated but a very good character arc where he's kind of developed into a much more responsible individual.
Yeah.
And you kind of see his strongest traits and kind of like how that was all it kind of makes you wonder what would have happened to Yulmore if they didn't become so lazy. How much talent is really there and how industrious they can all really be.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy.
It was neat.
I don't know. Whenever they get into like the really heavy politics stuff in the story, I usually kind of glaze over. I try to enjoy it, but I kind of glaze over it. But I did like some of it. So
yeah, it's that kind of stuff is why I really like, not necessarily just political, but how things kind of work together. It's why I really like Overlord, because that's a big part of his plan, is trying to make his guild a bigger part of the world.
Yeah,
basically establishing himself. And especially that's why I really like the first half of Shield Hero.
Yeah, you like world building.
Mm-hmm.
It's world
very
building.
Much so.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So it's very cool. Shield Hero had the whole thing where he's like becoming a merchant and trade and just like establishing yourself, because it feels like that RPG aspect where you're building a character too. And you're becoming this thing, and you're kind of either you make up your headcanon or you see it unfold in front of you, where whatever the game narrative allows for. So that to me is what I really enjoy.
Yeah.
But to kind of move things along for the Estinian
oh my god
part.
Yeah. That was so good. Ooh. So when we control him, right? The first thing I always do is read the abilities. And so I read the abilities and I was like, 3,000 potency and I can spam it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, at first I was a little disappointed that we didn't have more flair, but I was like, you can't expect people to just learn a whole new rotation for one story quest. It's fine.
It was enough.
It looked really cool, and I got the gist of what you had to do with his abilities pretty quickly. So,
bro, he could spam Stardiver.
Stardiver, and he had a dot that was pretty cool, and that AoE roar that he had just killed people.
He's freaking awesome.
It was very cool. What I really liked was his conversing with Nidhogg.
Yes.
Not really so conversation, cool. But like he's beckoning him forward.
Yeah.
And that was like really, really cool. Really cool.
I freaking love dragons.
Yeah.
I just love dragons, dude.
Dude, same.
So I'm very happy with that.
What?
Wait, what? I didn't hear
no?
anything.
Okay, so Nidhogg. No, like just that whole thing was really, really, really neat. You kind of get a more appreciation for how Estinian is like a warrior.
Yeah.
With some of those cutscenes. So
I love him too.
Or a dragoon, sorry. No.
He's a dragoon, not a warrior. That's why he's got the spear.
Yeah. But then
what?
Then we get the conversation between whatever, like pseudo Ossian or whatever, and I know there's the part in the end thing where you get pseudo Ardbert, but the talk with Xenos. Where the guy's like, hey, you want to know where Zodiark is? Oh. Just like, yes.
What was he saying? Like he wants to fight Zodiark?
He wants to absorb Zodiark. And he wants us to absorb Hydaelyn. And then he wants to have a literal battle of gods at the end.
He's
wants
fucking crazy.
He doesn't give a damn if he destroys the planet or whatever in the process. He just wants to have a good time with his best frenemy. And I am so excited for it.
Bro.
It's going to be so damn cool.
I guess I got to be samurai for that. So we could clash swords.
Yeah.
And not book. Book and sword.
Oh my goodness. Dude, if Xenos becomes the last raid tier.
Oh.
Holy crap.
Of the arc, like 6.0, you mean?
That too, but I mean, if you just popped in like, "Hey, I found you."
Oh, okay, I see.
Kind of a thing. It would be super cool. I just want his fight to be climactic. So,
oh yeah, he'll be cool. And then Ardbert too. Like, what was interesting when Ardbert showed up, they didn't name him as Ardbert. They named what did they call him? Like,
wandering warrior or wayward warrior, something like that.
Yeah. Which is interesting.
He's a new warrior of dark. He's from what I've gathered, from what Elidibus said the last time, is that he wants to turn us into the warrior of darkness. That from like 2.4, I think. So when we first met Ardbert and his friends, where they were the antagonists, he wants to make us that for the other warriors of light from the remaining shards. So he's bringing people in to fight us now.
Right.
So people with a just cause thinking that we're the bad guys, or they have their world to save, and that this is the only way that the Ossians have given them to do it. So I think this is somebody that I was making a joke with Archie. I was like, we've got to kill him right now before I get attached. We've got to end him right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna love this guy, and he's gonna be
kill him
I'm
first.
Gonna cry. I've got to kill him. Got to kill him right now.
Yeah, just end it.
Sorry, buddy, can't get attached to you. Gotta off you right now.
Because this probably isn't Ardbert. Ardbert is in us, so it's just a guy that looks like him.
Yeah, because Ardbert, essentially, for all intents and purposes, has already been reabsorbed to us.
Yeah,
like his consciousness is left, but his essence, that splitting of the soul,
right?
But he had his own
inside.
mind. He's inside us.
Mm-hmm.
The same as all the other warriors of light, all the other destroyed shards.
Yeah.
So that's why it's starting to like show like why we're so strong.
Yeah, we got like 9 people.
I want to know if we are like who we were as an Ossian.
Oh, dude, we're definitely an ancient from the Amarat.
Yeah, I mean,
we're definitely that dude.
They showed us in the cutscene with Hades right before his fight. Like, no way, that's not you. But they also talked about it in the story in Amarat, where
the short story thing.
Well, yeah, where there's somebody who is in opposition of Zodiark, and I think that's us who summoned Heidelin.
Yeah, I think so. I subscribe to that theory as well.
It's they're turning it up, but they're taking they're such teases. They are such teases.
Good shit.
But yeah, Arbert's why we could handle all the light, because we finally fused, and then his mind went off to join his friends, and I cried.
Yeah, good shit. Arbert's a good guy.
He's a good dude. So that was 5.1, and then we're gonna have more to talk about in 5.11. And then 5.15, probably a little less than 5.15.
Yeah, after Ultimate, and then also to talk about the Blue Mage stuff too later.
And PvP.
I'll
be trying the new PvP zone. I genuinely wish PvP was more popular, because I enjoy doing it. I want the gear. I want to do more than just PvP.
Yeah, me too.
Or if it's gonna be PvE, do it like Siege style.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rival Wings was great until like it got swarmed with bots.
My favorite has always been Steel Rock. So if the new mode is called Steel Rock 2 internally, I'm excited for it. So yeah. All right, so that'll be wrap it up.
Yeah.
For today.
Also, I said it with Larry, but talking of Blue Mage, they just don't let you return infinitely now. You can still kill yourself. So I'm happy that we can still die, but they're gonna.
You can still do it.
You just need like 10 minutes between it. So it's like, fine, I get 2 return spells only.
I see. So it's like you die, and then it gives you the buff, and it's like, okay, you can't use this until it wears off.
Yeah, it basically says you bitched out. Like, you came so close to death, you don't want to try it again for 10 minutes until you get your nerve back.
You're a little scared.
Yeah.
I see.
So,
okay.
It's okay. I still like being able to die repeatedly, but whatever. It's fine. Don't need it.
It's fine.
But in any case, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to check us out on YouTube. We are working towards our affiliate status, so for that sub button here on Twitch. But you can still check us out on YouTube, watch all that stuff. Check it out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you're watching this live now, so that you guys can go ahead and catch us later if you can't make a week, if you miss it, and you'll have those opportunities to catch up. As well as the Twitter, we try to keep you up to date as much as possible with any changes. It is daylight savings time now. We're in Arizona, so that doesn't affect us, but it will affect the viewing time for that. So we should, I think it's 4 p.m. we're starting Pacific time.
Yeah, 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Pacific.
So if it helps, we are UTC -7 as our time zone, and we're always 5 p.m. our time. So if that makes it easier for you guys, UTC -7. 5 p.m.
So for right now, it'll be like right now it's 4 p.m. PST. The other half of the year it's 5 p.m. PST. Yeah, so for right now,
spring forward, it'll be 5 again.
For right now, for next half a year, it's 4 p.m. PST. So that's when.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Thank you once again. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Have a good one, everybody. Thanks. Bye.
Goodbye. Au revoir.